1982 Mississippi State University football.
You beat the team you had to beat.
Hey, look!
You did it in the dust and heat. Now you're thirsty and hot, and you know what to do, 'cause there's something big waiting for me and you.
Coke is it, the biggest taste you've ever found. Coke is it, the one that never lets you down. Coke is it, the most refreshing taste around. Coke is it, Coke is it.
LSU will receive with Gary James and Eric Martin back deep. Mississippi State will kick off with Dana Moore to tee it up at the 40-yard line. Mississippi State football is brought to you by Budweiser, Gulf Oil, Fred Stores, Coca-Cola, Depositor Savings, and State Farm Insurance Company. Any rebroadcast or retransmission of the Mississippi State Radio Football Network is prohibited without written permission from the Mississippi Network and Mississippi State University. Announcers for the game are employed by the Mississippi Network. This crowd is alive. They are ready on a beautiful fall afternoon for Southeastern Conference football. With Martin and James deep, Dana Moore has the ball teed up in the center of the football field, equidistant from the sidelines at the 40-yard line. The lights are already turned on here at Scott Field, although it is a brilliant afternoon, but will be dark before this ball game goes into the record books, and the game will be finished under the glowing lights right now. As we told you, this ball game was a sellout. Right now there are some few late arrivals, and this crowd, incidentally, was relatively late in arriving, and basically because I think the weatherman had predicted colder temperatures than we are experiencing right now. It is pleasant. It is 52 degrees, but as the sun settles out behind these west stands here at Scott Field and the shadows begin to creep across, of course, it's going to get considerably more cool. Our referee this afternoon is Joe Hicks out of Birmingham. The umpire is Bud Williams from Tallahassee, Florida. The linesman, Robert Towns of Columbus, Georgia. The line judge is Ronnie Baines of Tallahassee, Alabama. The field judge, Al Granning of Atlanta. The back judge is Ted Thomas of Chattanooga. The clock operator, John Morrell out of Jackson, Mississippi. LSU has Florida State on their schedule next week, and they'll finish the regular campaign against Tulane. And there are many, many bold scouts in evidence here today looking at this LSU crowd who well could be, if things turn out right for them, the host team in the Sugar Bowl. Mississippi State, of course, will conclude the season next week in Jackson against Mississippi, and the Rebels this afternoon are in Jackson. They are hosting the University of Tennessee. We'll have scores and other ball games to pass along, but right now we're set to play football at Scott Field on the campus of Mississippi State, where a crowd of 33,000 has heard the referee's whistle and sees Moore come forward and kick it deep. Waiting for it is Martin, 2 steps deep in the end zone, and will down it at that point. He'll not bring it out. LSU will play from the 20-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. LSU's offense, as John Correro pointed out, led by Alan Risher. He'll have Dalton Hilliard and Mike Muntz as running backs, and Herman Fontenot as his flanker back. Eric Martin will be his wide receiver. Malcolm Scott as tight end. Mike Gambrell comes out the offensive center. LSU puts 2 flankers to the left. Fontenot is in the slot. Martin is wide to the left. Hilliard is deep. They use Fontenot in motion back to the right. They go to Hilliard coming off right tackle. He's got 2, maybe 3, slamming to the 23-yard line where the maroon headgears and the maroon jerseys put him to the turf at that point, led by Ernest Barnes and Darrell Moore, the defensive tackles for Mississippi State, who work along with Billy Jackson and Mike McEnany at the defensive ends. Clay Peacher, John Miller, the outside linebackers, and Carl Prince, the inside linebacker. LSU 2nd down and 7 at their own 23. Gary James checks in, and they split the running backs. Muntz to the right, James to the left. They use motion back to the inside, and LSU comes to the motion side, trying to swing outside as James gets a hole up to the 29. Quick as lightning is this freshman who hit a hole and picked up 7 yards, and Gary Lambert and Bobby Junkie knocked him down just shy. The official said his knee hit at the 29-yard line, a yard shy of the first down. LSU has great offensive balance, as John pointed out, and the Bulldog defense will be sorely pressed to hold this high-flying group this afternoon. Again, James is deep. LSU's in the eye, a 2 tight end set. A wing in motion, back to the right goes Fontenot. And Risher goes to the tailback and stopped short of the first down is Gary James. He got absolutely nowhere. The Bulldogs got great penetration from Derek Richardson, the middle linebacker out of Eufaula, Alabama, the freshman. 4th and 2, LSU from the 28. LSU will get Clay Parker in, their punter, who's kicked 48 times and averages 41.5 yards. He's a sophomore out of Grayson, Louisiana, stands at the 15, will boot from the 20, gets his kick away, partially blocked, comes upfield, hits at the 50-yard line, gets an LSU roll to the 40, to the 35-yard line, to the 34-yard line. That's a kick of 38 yards, although partially blocked. Bulldogs had great pressure on the kicker, but he got it away. And Mississippi State will go offensively for the first time this afternoon with John Bond at quarterback, with Michael Haddix and Lamar Wyndham the running backs, with Henry Kuntz the fullback. They'll have Danny Knight and Glenn Young as the wide receivers, Tony Sarter and Bobby McAtinas at the tackles, Bill Bell and Wayne Harris at the guards. Mike McDonald starts at center for the injured Kent Hall, who's serving Mississippi State as their captain this afternoon.
Jack, while we've got a moment, got a little note here we'd like to pass on. Say a big hello to the guys at the Steel Springs Hunting Club, somewhere around Scuba, Mississippi. Group of hunters, this contingent being led by Harold Pee Wee Phillips.
John, also on our Budweiser Bulldog mailbox, we want to wish a very speedy recovery to Sergeant Kenneth Nichols of the MSU Security Department. He's in the Oktibbeha Hall County Hospital, and we certainly want to wish for him a very, very speedy recovery. To Scott Davis down at Ocean Springs, we want to send along a hearty hello. We also want to say hello to Buddy and Kurt Schumacher in Corinth, Mississippi, from the Shoemakers at Kosciuszko. And we want to extend sincerest congratulations and best wishes to Mr. and Mrs. L.C. Suber, who just a couple of days ago celebrated their golden anniversary, the parents of the former Mississippi State All-American Scott Suber. And we certainly, here on our Budweiser Bulldog mailbox, pass along those hellos and congratulations. Bulldogs are 1st and 10 at the 34, Knight to the right, Young to the left, 2 wide receivers. LSU's in a 4-3 defensive alignment as Bond goes inside, and driving for maybe a yard comes Michael Haddix before Al Richardson, the left outside, a strong linebacker for LSU, leads the charge. The Bulldogs gain a yard. It is 2nd down, 9 yards to go. The wide side of the field is to the left of the Mississippi State offense. They're driving with a slight wind at their back. Actually, the beautiful Stars and Stripes right now almost motionless on the flagpole at the south end of the stadium. Corwin Ulrich wide to the left, Knight wide to the right. LSU's in a 4-3 defensive alignment. Bond reads the defense. Long snap count and rolls to throw. The quick out. Throws it to Ulrich and overshot him along the 25 or 35-yard line, rather. Incomplete. James Britt was the defender on the play. And again, Mississippi State had to unload it in a hurry. Great pressure.
Well, LSU puts tremendous pressure on the offense. You know, the last couple of ball games, they've given up as far as rushing offense, -5 against Ole Miss and Alabama. And, of course, those are 2 pretty good offensive football teams.
So the Bulldogs are 3rd and 9 on their first possession. No score, first period. LSU in that 4-3 defensive alignment. Bond keeps a full house backfield. Checks, rolls back to throw, sets up, again under pressure, fires to the outside, incomplete. Trying to go to Lamar Wyndham, his wingback, and Ramsey Dardar. And Bill Elko are putting pressure on him, and Mississippi State will punt for the first time in the ball game. Dana Moore will get back at about the 20 and kick from the 24. And Lifford Hobley, who has returned 6 punts for LSU this year, averaging 5 yards a return, stands at the LSU 26-yard line. Dana Moore at the Bulldog 20 is averaging 41 yards a punt, a fraction thereover. Good snap from center, not much pressure. Kick is an end-over-ender. Hobley waiting for it, gathers it at the 27, comes to the 30, fumbles. LSU has recovered it, and back at the 28-yard line, James Britt got to the football. It was a 38-yard kick. And on the return, actually no return, as the return upfield by Lippert was good for about 5 yards, but he was hit and fumbled, and the recovery was made back about where he caught the football originally, the 28-yard line. So LSU in a 0-0 ball game will be 1st and 10 at their own 28. Eric Martin goes wide to the right. Fontenot's in the slot to the right. Muntz and Hilliard, your running backs. Muntz left, Hilliard right. Split backs. In motion comes Fontenot. Back to the left to the quarterback. Risher wants to throw. Fake short. Hit and dropped at the 23. Mike McInerney got to him.
The Bulldogs coming with a little blitz in. John Miller also blitzing. McInerney coming through, throwing Richer. He faked the little quick pass, was going to go deep. Mike McInerney there to throw him for the big loss.
LSU 2nd and 15 at their own 23. Comes in the slot with Junius Durrell. 2 wide receivers left. Richer wants to throw, almost slips down, comes out of the pocket running to the 30 and knocked down at the 31. Mike McInerney again got to him and dropped him. It'll be 3rd down, 7 yards to go out at the 31. LSU had Richer in the pocket, looking quickly, didn't have the out pattern he wanted to throw and just took it up the middle. Mississippi State gets Pat Swopes in the ball game, defensively a tackle. The freshman from Florence, Alabama. And he will give Ernest Barnes a little rest. Fontenot wide to the left, Martin wide to the right. Richer looking at a 4-man line for Mississippi State. 3 linebackers in tight. Richer with a split backfield, rolls in the pocket, throws the quick out pattern, caught, breaking it at the 50-yard line. Martin goes to the 40. Johnson chasing him, knocked off his man by a block. He's going for a touchdown.
LSU coming with the quick slant in pass. Richer doing a good job of getting to Martin. Picked up a couple of good blocks. He broke a couple of tackles, took it all the way into the end zone. LSU 6, Bulldogs nothing.
So in 3 plays, LSU in their second series, with 10:59 to go in the first quarter, is on the board 6-0. And LSU will get Juan Betanzos, Betanzos. Betanzos, he's 33 out of 33 in the extra point department, trying to make it number 34 in a row. We'll wait the snap. It's down. The kick is up. He's high and long and good. LSU 7, Mississippi State nothing. The Tigers will kick off.
Here, 1950.
These are festive times. Fall and campus football, something to look forward to every autumn at colleges and universities everywhere. Nothing else can match the panorama of a campus football game. But of all the elements that make up college football, none can be more important than a stadium of a large enough capacity that would enable all students, alumni, and fans alike the opportunity to join the fun. Mississippi State University sorely lacks in this category. Our stadium, Scott Field, is the smallest football stadium in the SEC, less than half the average size stadium in the conference. Plans are underway to change this, and your help is needed. Stadium expansion at MSU can become a reality only when initial funding is complete. Funding provided for by the Priority Seating Option Plan. But time is running short. For information on how you can help, contact the MSU Athletic Department and ask about the option plan.
So the LSU Tigers have grabbed an early 7-0 lead. Just about 4 minutes deep in this football game as Eric Martin gets the quick out pattern, breaks it away from a tackler, was being chased down by Kenny Johnson, who himself was knocked off stride by an LSU blocker, and that enabled Martin to get it into the end zone. But Betanzos makes it 7-0, and now LSU will kick off to Mississippi State, where Glenn Young will be deployed back deep along the goal line, flanked by Danny Knight on the far side at the 10. On the near side will be Kenny Rogers, also along the 10-yard line. Michael Haddix will be up the middle about the 20. Now LSU will have Betanzos on occasion just lofted high and relatively short and force either a fair catch or hope to get a mishandled football. As Coach Ballard pointed out in the opening moments of our broadcast on our interview with him, Betanzos comes forward, kicking it diagonally across the field. It is going to Danny Knight, who is waiting and has it at the 18. Knight comes up to the 20, breaks a tackle, goes to the 40 and out of bounds, just shy of the Mississippi State 40-yard line in front of the LSU bench. So Mississippi State running from the 18 out to the 38, gets relatively good field position after the run back of about 20 yards. But LSU leads 7-0. LSU works with Ramsey Dardar at the middle guard, Bill Elko, Leonard Marshall the tackles, Rydell Melanson, Tim Joyner the defensive ends out of a 5-man front, with Lawrence Williams and Al Richardson the linebackers. Bulldogs in a full house backfield, wide receivers left and right. And Bond on a quick pitch goes to Haddix, trying to turn the corner, gets a block, fights out to the midfield stripe and is knocked down at the LSU 49 by James Britt.
Again on the sweep, Michael Haddix got a great block on the corner by Lamar Wyndham that enabled him to turn upfield, pick up the first down inside LSU territory.
A run of 13 yards in the first down for Mississippi State. LSU leading 7-0. The ball is in LSU territory at about, actually, the 49.5. Jerry Price to the right side. Glenn Young to the left. Bond keeps a full house backfield of Wyndham right. Haddix deep left. There's a quick look-in pass to Price, who grabs it at the 40 and out of bounds. Very close to a first down at the LSU 40-yard line. Eugene Daniel, the left cornerback, was the man that hit him out of bounds. This may necessitate a measurement, and it will. Let's us quickly pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the Mississippi State University Football Network. Mississippi State is first down at the LSU 40-yard line. The ball, as we said, actually about the 39.5. Bulldogs are using Mike McDonald at center, Bill Bell, Wayne Harris at the guards, Tony Sarter, Bobby McAtinas at the tackles, Jerry Price the tight end, Corwin Ulrich is the wide receiver left, John Bond at quarterback as Henry Kuntz is his up back, Haddix deep, Wyndham deep, left and right respectively out of the wishbone. Bond checking a 6-man front, now a 5-man front. Off the option, goes to Kuntz, spins forward for about 4. Being taken off his feet by Al Richardson, the strong side linebacker. Youngster from Mississippi State shaken up on the play. We'll check out the injury, and we'll be back in 1 minute after we hear these messages from our local sponsors.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, John.
Doing a little remodeling, eh?
Yeah, I'm trying, man.
Hey, who's doing it?
Well, Frierson Building Supply had all the materials, and they put us in touch with people to do the work. Why, they're even helping us select paper, paints, appliances, and carpets. You know, Frierson really does have everything you need under one roof.
Frierson, we're everything for your home under one roof.
4525 Lynch Street Extension.
Coke is it, the most refreshing way to make the most of every day. And wherever you go and whatever you do, there's something big waiting for me and you. Coke is it, the biggest taste you've ever found. Coke is it, the one that never lets you down. Coke is it, the most refreshing taste around. Coke is it.
John Bond was the man shaken up on the play, but he comes off the field under his own power. He'll be replaced for at least one play by Tim Parrington, the junior quarterback out of New Orleans. Mississippi State will be 2nd and 5 at the LSU 36-yard line. It is nearer 2nd and 6, actually. Ulrich wide to the left. Knight comes wide to the right. Tim Parrington will check an LSU 6-man defensive alignment, almost a 6-1 right now. Parrington, quick pitch right side to Haddix, who gets a hole, breaks down to the 30, and is going to be pushed out of bounds along the LSU 26-yard line by Lifford Hobley. Henry Kuntz shaken up a little bit himself on that play, but he's up immediately, so there's some kind of knocking going on out there right now. 1st and 10, Mississippi State at the LSU 26-yard line. Al Ricky Edwards moves in at the fullback spot, the junior from Lumberton. So Haddix, Wyndham are your deep running backs. Al Ricky Edwards is now your up back. Tim Parrington operates at quarterback. Glenn Young wide to the left. Danny Knight comes wide to the right. LSU in a 4-3 defense against the full house backfield. Parrington, long snap count. Off the option, quick look in, throws to Knight, got it for a touchdown. Tim Parrington hit Danny Knight.
Well, he faked the throw back up the middle and then came with the quick pass to the split end. Danny Knight, instead of slanting in, just going straight down the field. The defensive back for LSU tried to make the interception. He missed on it. Tim Parrington put the ball right there. Danny Knight just sprinted into the end zone wide open. We have a 7-6 ball game with the Bulldogs attempting the extra point.
6th touchdown catch of the year for Danny Knight. First touchdown pass thrown by Tim Parrington. Bob Morgan will attempt the conversion and try to tie it up. The ball is on the ground. The kick is high. It's up. It is good. We are tied at 7. And Mississippi State will kick off to LSU with 9:46 to go in the first quarter.
A lot of my growers use Sencor, even though they all seem to grow beans differently. I mean, they may plant conventional rows, drill them, or plant wheat beans. They may apply their herbicides, pre-emerge, overlay, or pre-plant incorporated. And they may be fighting cuckleburr, sicklepod, sesbania, or teaweed. But they do agree on one thing, the one herbicide to use no matter what.
Sencor from Mobay. Don't grow soybeans without it.
This old smokehouse used to smoke the best hams you ever tasted.
Wish we had some, Grandpa.
Today we have Smoky Hollow Classic, the boneless ham with that old-fashioned smokehouse taste.
Does Smoky Hollow have a smokehouse?
Yep, they take extra lean hams and smoke them with 100% natural hickory smoke for that old-fashioned smokehouse taste.
Best ham I ever tasted.
Smoky Hollow Classic from Bryan for that great old-fashioned smokehouse taste.
Mississippi State 7, LSU 7, 9:46 to go in the first quarter. John?
Here's some scores. Southern Mississippi leading Alabama in the second period, 28-7. Pittsburgh 24, the Army nothing. That's in the fourth quarter. Georgia leading Auburn 13-7. That's in the third quarter. Michigan 52, Purdue 21. That's the final score. Another final. Oklahoma defeats Missouri 41-14. Texas Tech 10, SMU 7. That's in the second quarter. We'll have a few more later on.
Eric Martin and Gary James are deep for LSU to receive on the goal line. Dana Moore will kick it off for Mississippi State in a 7-7 ball game. LSU puts 5 men on the restraining wall. Here's Moore coming forward, kicks it high in the air, not too deep. Waiting for it, Eric Martin has it at the 2, comes at hash mark at the 10, tries to get outside, works his way to the 20, and is finally ridden down as he crosses the 25 up near the 29-yard line. So LSU again gets pretty good field position in a 7-7 ball game. And we'll start from the 29-yard line. The Tigers use Mike Gambrell at center, Mike Turner, Kevin Langford at the guards, Clint Berry, and Mike Smith at the tackles. Malcolm Scott's the tight end. Eric Martin's the split receiver. He comes wide to the left, to the right. Herman Fontenot's wide to the left, out of the I formation. James is deep and Muntz is close. Alan Risher running the quick pitch to the tailback. James swinging the right side, gets 5 as he comes up to the 35-yard line. Each time the LSU tailback carries the football, statistically, they gain almost 5 yards. They did it there before Darrell Moore and John Miller could take Gary James down. 2nd and 5, LSU, a short 5 at their own 35-yard line. LSU 7, Mississippi State 7. We're in the first quarter. Each team on their second possession struck like lightning. LSU 2 wide receivers right. Durrell's in the slot to the right. Martin is the wide man. Risher moves Durrell back in motion to his left. Comes on the quick inside handoff, and Muntz fights straight ahead to about the 37-yard line. He's short of the first down. Make that Gary James on the carry. James is short of the first down. Bulldogs, Billy Jackson, Ernest Barnes, Darrell Moore up underneath the play. Ball is almost to the 38, so it's just about a long yard to go for LSU on 3rd and 1. Bulldogs in LSU's first possession held them on a 3rd and 1 situation and forced a punt. LSU will be in a 2 tight end set. Fontenot's the wing to the right. James is deep. Muntz is close out of the eye. Risher checks a 6-man front, uses motion with Fontenot to the left. Goes on the pitch to the opposite side, and James has the first down as he fights over the 40 out to about the 42-yard line. John Miller and Billy Jackson. Senior Miller out of Athens, Georgia. Junior Billy Jackson out of Plant City, Florida, make the stop. LSU earns a first down at their own 42-yard line. We're in a 7-7 ball game. LSU's second first down of the afternoon. They had a 69-yard catch and run by Eric Martin for a touchdown, and he's wide to the right. They come with a wide receiver to the left side in Durrell. Up underneath, out of a split backfield. Risher wants to throw, is going to run, comes up the middle, gets to the 43. That's all he can get. Hole plugged up in a hurry. Darrell Moore reacting extremely well, and Mike McInerney doing the same. And they pinch the ball carrier, Alan Risher, down after a pickup of perhaps a yard. 2nd and 9, ball between the 42 and 43, and LSU's possession in their own territory. We're tied at 7. Crowd is alive here at Scott Field. Wide to the right, goes Martin. To the left side comes Fontenot. Again, Muntz is close. James is deep, out of the eye. Bulldogs in a 4-4 defensive alignment. Now they peel a man off. LSU had movement ahead of the ball. Risher going to throw in the middle. Pass is caught. Breaking to the 30-yard line. Breaking to the 20. Going to the 10 and into the end zone. But This play is going to be called back, was Herman Fontenot. LSU had movement on the line of scrimmage ahead of the snap of the ball, and we called it.
Well, the split receiver moved just a second too early. And of course, Risha again dropping back, hitting his split receiver, coming back across the middle against the grain, doing a good job of running the football. But as you said, it'll be brought back. LSU will be penalized 5 yards.
Auburn has taken a 14-13 lead over Georgia in the fourth period. Auburn 14, Georgia 13. They're in the fourth quarter. Georgia, of course, with a win over Auburn, could wrap up the SEC title. If Georgia falters, LSU needs a win here this afternoon, and we're right now 7-7 in the first quarter. LSU's been assessed a 5-yard penalty back to the 38-yard line, where they're down to second down, 14 yards to go. 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. Alan Risher comes with Martin wide to the right. He sends Junius Durrell in the opposite direction, splits his running backs, Munson James. They're strong to the left side. Against a 4-3 defensive alignment, they use motion to the wide side of the field. With Durrell off the draw play, they come inside and driving up to the 45 and fighting to the 48 is Mike Munson. He's right near the midfield stripe. And he got back. Those 5 yards that were lost in 5 additional yards before Gary Lambert and Clay Peacher, the safety man for Mississippi State and the left outside linebacker, could make the stop at the 50-yard line. So LSU will be third down. A little better than 2 yards to go. And the football is almost equidistant from the sideline stripes. The Tigers will be in a 2 tight end offensive set again with Fontenot set wing to the right. James is deep. Muntz is close out of the eye. Risher, long snap count, checking a 5-3 defense, goes on the pitch to James, turning the corner, fights and has the first down along the Bulldog 47-yard line. Mississippi State reacted hurriedly to the quick pitch to the left side with Carl Prince and Calvin Zanders on the stop, but not until LSU kept their drive alive, moving it for their third first down and the second of this drive in a 7-7 ball game. 6:15 to go in the first period. We're in the first quarter. A late starting ball game this afternoon at Scott Field. Again, Durrell goes wide to the right side. Martin comes to the left. LSU splits the running backs. Strong to the left side of Alan Risher. Tight ends to the right. Risher rolls to throw. Sets up. Being hit and loses the football. Let's see if they call it an incomplete pass or a fumble. It will be an incomplete pass. Risher was in the passing motion when Mike McInerney hit him, is the judgment of the officials. And the crowd reacted adversely, as you might expect. It will be simply an incomplete pass. And again, McInerney did a great job coming off his defensive end position.
Boy, he came flying through really untouched and came back, hit Risher from the blind side.
Fontenot wide right, Martin wide left. LSU 2nd and 10. Risher rolls again in the pocket to throw. Is going to run the draw. Tripped up. Mike McInerney reacting again beautifully. Tripped him up. No gain.
Well, the Bulldog defense doing a good job of really putting pressure to LSU from the outside. Again, this time Risher coming back with the quarterback draw. Mike McInerney being able to react back to the inside and stop him for a short gain.
John Harrell checks into the the left offensive tackle spot for LSU, replacing Clint Berry, the big 280-pounder. Wide to the right goes Durrell. Wide to the left comes Martin on 3rd and 10. LSU out of a split backfield, checks a 4-3 Bulldog alignment. Risher wants to throw, setting up, fires over the middle, out of the backfield. James has it at the 40. James races to the outside of the 35 and is ridden down at the Bulldog 35. First down, LSU. Gary.
LSU doing a good job on this series, as they had the previous series, of picking up the first down on 3rd down.
A big 3rd and 10, and LSU cashed it in. They got it exactly 10 yards out of it, but they did get a first down out of it. That's all that was needed, and that's exactly what they got. Again, they have 2 wide receivers for LSU. Fontenot to the left, Martin to the right. The I formation with James 6 yards deep. Pitch to James, swinging the right side. Is going to be hit, fumbles the ball, and it's out of bounds. It'll be in retention of LSU. That's twice the Bulldogs have forced it loose. This one time ruled an incomplete pass, and this time the ball got out of bounds. Under the arms of Mississippi State trying to catch up with it. The impetus was from LSU. The loss on the play is a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11 at the Mississippi State 37. We're 7-7 ball game with 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the first period. Durrell left, Martin right, the wide receivers. LSU with Munson James, your running backs. Bulldogs in a 4-3 defensive front. Alan Risher wants to throw the quick out. Does. Passes broken up along the 25-yard line, intended for Eric Martin, who got a hand on it, couldn't hang on as he was really jarred loose from the football by good defensive secondary work by Mississippi State.
Well, this is a pass play that LSU's had success with on the previous two times they've had the football. The slant end pass a little deeper than normally what the Bulldogs throw. This time the good hit by the defensive secondary to force the incompletion.
So again, a long third down situation for LSU. They're going to use the slot formation to the right. In the slot is Eric Martin. Risher puts him in motion back to the left. Risher handles the ball, rolls to throw, sets up, wants to go to the right side. Pass is caught by the tight end Smith, who's knocked down at the 37-yard line. Malcolm Scott hit down by Clay Peacher and Billy Jackson, considerably short of the first down. Actually picked up about 3 yards. It'll be 4th down and 8. LSU's at the Bulldog 33-yard line, and LSU brings Clay Parker on. He's their punter. So evidently they're not going to try the long field goal situation. They'll try to hang it up deep and pin Mississippi State down on their end of the football field. The pass back is good. Parker, plenty of time, angles it toward the corner. He's got a high driving kick away, but it's out of bounds at the rear of the corner of the end zone. I think it went into the end zone, and it did. And Mississippi State will play it at the 20-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. We're in a 7-7 football game. LSU 7 and Mississippi State 7. And John Bond, who was injured in the previous series, will return to the lineup. We'll be back in 1 minute after these messages from our local sponsors.
Graduated here in 1950.
These are festive times. Fall and campus football, something to look forward to every autumn at colleges and universities everywhere. Nothing else can match the panorama of a campus football game. But of all the elements that make up college football, none can be more important than a stadium of a large enough capacity that would enable all students, alumni, and fans alike the opportunity to join the fun. Mississippi State University sorely lacks in this category. Our stadium, Scott Field, is the smallest football stadium in the SEC, less than half the average size stadium in the conference. Plans are underway to change this, and your help is needed. Stadium expansion at MSU can become a reality only when initial funding is complete. Funding provided for by the Priority Seating Option Plan. But time is running short. For information on how you can help, contact the MSU Athletic Department and ask about the option plan.
Mississippi State 7, LSU 7. 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Mississippi State has John Bond back in at quarterback. Michael Haddix, Lamar Wyndham, your deep running backs. Al Ricky Edwards will be the up back. Glenn Young and Danny Knight, your split receivers. Tony Sarter, Bobby Micotinas, the tackles. Bill Bell, Wayne Harris, the guards. Mike McDonald's at center, replacing the injured Kent Hall. Hall, by the way, is the game captain for the Bulldogs today. LSU in a basic 5-man front uses Ramsey Dardar as their middle guard, although Greg Bowser's in there right now. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 20. Out of the full house backfield, wide receivers left and right, and Bond on the first man through goes to his fullback, and Al Ricky Edwards got nothing as Greg Bowser was right there. Leonard Marshall, Bill Elko, the defensive tackles, Rydell Melanson, and Tim Joyner, the defensive ends.
A couple of scores. Georgia has gone ahead of Auburn in the fourth period, 2014. Tennessee leading Mississippi 27-10. I believe that's in the third period.
Other scores will be coming your way, and remember, over many of these same stations, the scoreboard following our broadcast. Corwin Aldrich wide to the left, Danny Knight wide to the right. On 2nd down and 10, Bond checks an LSU 5-man front, 3 linebacker set. Bond going on the inside handoff to Haddix, and he's got no place to go. He was ridden down by big Leonard Marshall, and then Marshall drove him all the way back to the 15, and we've got some knocking going on, John. 3rd down, 10 yards to go. Actually, he may have lost about a half yard. Let's just call it 3rd and 11, as the ball is inside the 20 at about the 19.5. Mississippi State will check Jerry Price into the ball game. The big youngster from Enterprise, 6'5" and 245, replaces Danny Knight, the junior from Natchez. And what comes the wide receiver right as Corwin Aldrich goes wide left. Bulldogs are working with their running backs as flankers right now. Only one setback in behind John Bond. LSU in a 4-4 defensive alignment as Bond drops to throw. Bond sets up, fires to the outside. Price has got it and takes it out of bounds along the 33-yard line for a first down. Price had to look back to the inside and turn his body, and he had his back to the sidelines and was pushed out of bounds. At that point, but picks up the first down along the 32-yard line, a 12-yard pickup. And for Mississippi State, that will be first down number 4. LSU has a like number, and our scoreboard's the same, 7-7. 2:28 remaining in the first quarter. 7-7 ball game. Bulldogs. Bond off the option, makes the pitch. Wyndham trying to turn the outside, gets a block, breaks over the 40, comes to the 43, and he's close to a first down. Excellent running by Wyndham, who had to just elude LSU tacklers.
Well, LSU sort of got through the inside there, but John Bond doing a good job of pitching the ball to Lamar Wyndham. He got another good block from Michael Haddix on the corner that enabled him to turn upfield and pick up the first down.
Ramsey Dardar and Tim Joyner made the stop for LSU. Bulldogs have registered their 5th first down. They've got a little breathing space now. They're moving the football offensively against the vaunted LSU defense, which is number 1 in the nation, statistically speaking. LSU in a 5-2 defense right now. Bond reads that defense. John handles the ball. Quick look-in pass thrown incomplete just under the fingertips of Corwin Aldridge, who was streaking up over midfield in first down country.
This is the same play that the Bulldogs scored on a while ago, this time to the left side. Ball thrown just a little bit low.
We understand that Southern Mississippi scores something like 35-22 over Alabama in the second half. Maybe we'll get a further score on that and give it to you exactly. We picked that one up off the public address announcer. Don't mind stealing a little score or two from Hank Flick, our good friend. He doesn't mind. 2nd and 10. Bulldogs at their own 43. Little less than 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Bond on 2nd and 10, checks an LSU 6-2 defense. Off the option, keeps it himself, looks for a block on the corner, makes the pitch, and Haddix streaks to the inside, breaks to the 40, comes to the 33-yard line. John Bond playing magician.
Well, it's just a good job of really executing the triple option. Almost came close to a forward lateral, but John Bond doing a good job of getting the ball to Michael Haddix after turning upfield. And, of course, Michael Haddix doing a pretty good job of running the football. Take it to LSU territory, about the 33-yard line.
LSU 7, Mississippi State 7 in the momentum right now. Going with the Bulldogs, whose defense stopped the LSU Tigers. The offenses move the ball. Glenn Young wide to the left, Danny Knight wide to the right. LSU in a 4-4 alignment against the full house backfield. Bond working without Ricky Edwards. The up back goes inside, handoff, quick counter, smashing to the 23-yard line comes Lamar Wyndham, the junior from Pritchard, Alabama. Knocked off his feet by Tim Joyner, the defensive end for LSU. And that is a pickup of about 9 yards on the play. You couldn't ask for a better first down play situation, which leaves you a 2nd down and 1 yard to go at the LSU 24-yard line. Actually, the 23.5. Clock is under a minute to go in the first quarter. We're tied at 7. Corwin Aldridge wide to the left. Danny Knight wide to the right. Bulldogs with Haddix and Wyndham deep, and Edwards the up back out of the wishbone backfield. Bond checking a 4-4 alignment. Bond, inside option, keeps, slides for the first down, breaks to the 10, knocked off his feet at the 6-yard line.
Well, it's one thing you have to say right now as far as the Bulldog offense. They're doing a tremendous job of coming off the line of scrimmage and really just knocking the LSU defense back. That time the LSU, John Bond came with the triple option to the right side, got the inside run, turned her upfield, and took it inside the 10-yard line to about the LSU 6-yard line.
Jeffrey Dale and Eugene Daniels stopped the play 6.5 yards away from the land of milk and honey. Bulldogs stay in a 2 wide receiver set in a full house backfield at the 6-yard line. Bond reading the LSU defense off the option. Makes the pitch. Haddix drives to the goal line and scores.
Just great execution again with the triple option. This time John Bond having to make the pitch. Michael Haddix taking the pitch and just literally ran through about 3 LSU defenders to stick the football into the end zone.
Michael Haddix tacking on his 7th touchdown on the ground this year. Gives Mississippi State a 13-7 lead with 8 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And Bob Morgan will try to give the Bulldog a 7-point lead over the Tiger. Out of the hold of Brent Parker, the sophomore from Mount Pleasant, Texas. We await the snap. It's good. The kick is up. It's high. It's good. Mississippi State 14, LSU 7. The Bulldogs will kick to the Tigers after we hear from Go Boyle.
When you're trying to get up a hill and you've got 10 tons of steel staring you in the face, that That's when you really need Gulf Super Unleaded, the gas with guts. It's one of the highest octane unleaded gasolines you can buy to help make sure you can pass, climb, and accelerate. Gulf Super Unleaded, the gas with guts. Make sure that Gulf is with you.
Oh, no! Brian, lunchmeats, she'll do anything to get in.
Watch. He can't resist Tasty Brian lunchmeats with their delicious seasonings. Brian is his favorite.
Hey, sis!
That great Brian taste comes through again.
Brian makes you glad you're hungry. Brian makes you sad you're through. Brian makes so many good meats to eat, 'cause Brian makes the taste come through.
Dana Moore will kick it off for Mississippi State. LSU will get Gary James, their speedster, and Eric Martin, who you can also describe as their speedster. On the goal line, Moore coming forward, kicks a low line drive, is going to carry to Martin, 8 yards deep in the end zone. He's not going to even handle it. It goes out of the rear of the end zone, and it will be LSU in possession, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line following the touchback. We have 8 seconds remaining in the first quarter, so LSU will have an opportunity to run a play, and then we'll probably change ends of the football field if that play takes 8 seconds, of course. Mike Gambrell's at center for LSU. Mike Turner, Kevin Langford the guards, Clint Berry. Lance Smith the tackles, Scott's the tight end. LSU puts Fontenot in the slot to the right and puts him in motion back to the left. Out of the I formation, Gary James on the delay, comes inside, breaks a tackle, races to the 30 and has a first down. Make that Dalton Hilliard carrying. That will run out the end of the first quarter. Mississippi State 14, LSU 7. We'll be back in the second quarter after we take a minute to hear from our local sponsors.
Farm income continues to fall while farm efficiency continues to rise.
Soybeans are a big crop in Mississippi, and with good reason. Did you know that in about 40 seconds, I can cut enough soybeans for enough soybean oil for over a gallon of cooking oil, 4 quarts of mayonnaise, and over 60 cans of baby formula. Just something to think about next time you go to the grocery store.
The graveyard of chainsaws. Some with names you'd recognize, others are unknown. But in this world of broken promises, there is hope. Steel, tough, dependable, built to survive. Steel, you get what you pay for. With chainsaws going under every day, you can save yourself a lot of grief and get a Steel.
As we get set for the second quarter, Mississippi State has a 14-7 lead over LSU in what thus far has been nothing but an offensive football game. LSU has had 3 possessions. On their first possession, they started at the 20 and punted. They started at their 38, and 2 plays later, on 3rd down and 7, hit a 69-yard catch-and-run touchdown pass to Eric Martin. On their 3rd possession, LSU drove from their 29 to the Bulldog 33 and picked up 3 first downs. Mississippi State's first possession, their own 34, resulted in a punt. Their second possession started at their own 38 and moved to a first down at the LSU 26, and then a touchdown pass from Tim Parrington to Danny Knight tied it up. On Mississippi State's third possession, they moved 80 yards in 9 plays with Michael Haddix going the 6 on the pitch out from John Bond. So both ball clubs offensively, with the exception of 1 series each, have been able to move the ball against the opposition's defense. We're 14-7 starting the second quarter. Mississippi State 14, LSU 7. The Tigers will be 1st and 10 at their own 30. They work with Alan Risher at quarterback, with Dalton Hilliard and Jesse Miles, the running backs. And they work with Junius Durrell as the flanker back. Eric Martin's the split end. Malcolm Scott's the tight end. Clint Berry and Lance Smith are the tackles. Mike Turner, Kevin Langford the guards. Mike Gambrell at center. LSU 1st and 10 at the 30, starting the second quarter. Durrell is the flanker back to the left and comes in motion. Back to the right side. LSU's Risher, quick pitch, right side. Hilliard trying to get outside. Cannot go. Knocked off his feet hard by Carl Prince along the 28-yard line.
Carl Prince done a good job of play recognition, getting to the outside and then coming upfield to make the big stop on Hilliard.
Dalton Hilliard's a little guy. He's 5'8" and 181. A freshman out of Patterson, Louisiana, where incidentally my oldest daughter and Mavis's oldest daughter is teaching school in Patterson, Louisiana. Hilliard wears number 21 for the LSU Tigers. The Tigers on 2nd and 11 put Fontenot again in motion off a 2 tight end offense to the right. Quick pitch to the tailback. They want to throw the pass. Upfield, the pass is thrown long. It is too long. Along the 30-yard line, the halfback pass thrown by Gary James. Incomplete.
Here's some first quarter statistics. LSU had 5 first downs, Mississippi State 8. LSU 14 rushing attempts for 52 yards. Mississippi State 11 for 94. LSU completed 3 out of 5 passes, no interceptions for 82 yards. The Bulldogs 3 out of 6, no interceptions for 48 yards. Total offense for LSU the first quarter, 134. For Mississippi State, 142.
3rd down, 11, LSU at their own 29. Wide receivers are left and right out of a split backfield. It is Miles in the inside. Hilliard's on the outside. And back to throw goes Risher. Risher setting up, has time, comes over the middle. Pass completed to Hilliard. Races to the 40, races to midfield. Knocked down at the Bulldog 45-yard line. LSU does it again.
Well, LSU doing a good job of coming back with the delay pattern across the grain. Everyone going one side, and here comes the receiver back to the other side. And, of course, throwing in front of the linebackers. And, of course, when you throw to a back like Hilliard, all you have to do is get him the football, and he can do the rest.
And he did it to the Bulldog 45-yard line. He picked up 24 yards on the play. Fontenot wide to the right. Martin wide to the left. LSU splits their backs. Hilliard's and Miles. Hilliard left, Miles right. Risher off the draw, comes inside. Driving comes Miles, out of bounds along the Mississippi State 35-yard line. Carl Prince chased him out. LSU going with the underneath patterns, as John pointed out. They're going with the would-be pass play on the draw, and they're catching Mississippi State's linebackers backpedaling. LSU, 1st and 10 at the Mississippi State 34. A gain of 11 yards on the play. Bulldogs are operating with Carl Prince, Clay Peacher, John Miller's the linebackers. Mike McInerney, Melvin Dodd at the ends. Darrell Moore, Ernest Barnes at the tackles. Kenneth Johnson, Steve Johnson, the side backs. Bobby Junkin, Gary Lambert, the safety man. LSU 1st and 10 at the 34. Bulldogs in the 4-3 alignment. Risher wants to throw to the right side. Getting it out to Miles, the fullback, who's at the 30 and knocked off his feet at the 28-yard line. Turned up in the air and dropped by Gary Lambert. Jesse Miles, a 215-pound fullback, turned completely, feet off the ground, down on his shoulder pads. But he picked up 7 big yards on the play. 2nd and 3 at the Mississippi State 29-yard line. Make it 2nd and 4 would be closer. LSU at the Bulldog 29, trailing 14-7. Puts Fontenot left and Martin to the right. Again, the running backs are out of a pro set, strong to the right. Risher wants to throw the sideline pass, broken up on the line of scrimmage. Mississippi State got a hand up there. Ernest Barnes, Billy Jackson, both right there, and broke it up on the line of scrimmage. Tigers 3rd and 4 at the Bulldog 29. Alan Risher coming in, an excellent passer, had thrown 166 times, completed 103 for 62%, had suffered 7 interceptions on the year. Doral goes wide to the left. Martin comes wide to the right for LSU on 3rd and 4. Risher checking a 4-3 alignment of Mississippi State. Long snap count for Risher. Risher handling, drops in the pocket to throw, sets up, has time, being chased out of the pocket. Looking, is going to be hit and dropped by Gary Lambert along the 33-yard line on a great open field tackle.
Boy, a great open field tackle is right, because Alan Risher had a lot of running room, and Gary Lambert had to come up and make the good open field tackle. It'll be 4th down for LSU.
Juan Betanzos comes on, 9 out of 15 in the field goal department. He has kicked a 51-yarder this year.
And we've got a final, Jack. Georgia defeats Auburn 20-14, so therefore Georgia goes to the Sugar Bowl.
This will be a 49-yard effort if it is a field goal try from the Bulldog 39. We are waiting the snapback. It is put down. The kick is up. It is long. It is high. It is no good. Drifts off at the last moment. Not good. Score remains Mississippi State 14, LSU 7. The Bulldogs will get the football, as Betanzos is now 9 out of 16 in the field goal department. Missing a 49-yarder. So the defense does the job for the maroon-jerseyed, maroon headgeared Bulldogs and turns it over to the offense, which will have Mike McDonald at center. Bill Bell and Wayne Harris at the guards. Tony Sarter and Bobby McAtinas at the tackles. Jerry Price and Corwin Aldridge. And we'll be back.
Graduated here in 1950.
These are festive times. Fall and campus football, something to look forward to every autumn at colleges and universities everywhere. Nothing else can match the panorama of a campus football game. But of all the elements that make up college football, none can be more important than a stadium of a large enough capacity that would enable all students, alumni, and fans alike the opportunity to join the fun. Mississippi State University sorely lacks in this category. Our stadium, Scott Field, is the smallest football stadium in the SEC, less than half the average size stadium in the conference. Plans are underway to change this, and your help is needed. Stadium expansion at MSU can become a reality only when initial funding is complete. Funding provided for by the Priority Seating Option Plan. But time is running short. For information on how you can help, contact the MSU Athletic Department and ask about the option plan.
Mississippi State is first down and 10 at their own 33. John Bond will have a pair of wide receivers in Glenn Young and Danny Knight, left and right respectively, against an LSU 4-4 defense. Bond handling the ball, inside handoff, booking for a couple of yards comes Lamar Wyndham on a straight power play to the 35, where Bill Elko was in there to make the stop for the LSU Tigers. Elko 6'5" and 270. Excellent defensive tackle, makes the hit. 2nd and 8 for the Bulldogs. Wide side of the field will be to the left of John Bond, who operates with Henry Kuntz as his up back, with Michael Haddix and Lamar Wyndham, his deep running backs. In the ball game right now, Jerry Price, the wide receiver, to the right, and Glenn Young to the left. Bond on 2nd and 8. Looks at a gun, a 4-4 LSU defense. Out of his full house backfield, Bond handles the ball. Off the quick look-in, throws. Pass broken up by LSU. Al Richardson, the outside linebacker, got a hand on it on the slant end pattern and broke it up. It'll be 3rd and 8. Off the deflection. Bond goes incomplete. Tim Parrington has thrown a Mississippi State touchdown to Danny Knight. And Alan Risher threw a 69-yard touchdown catch and run to Eric Martin. The other touchdown of the ball game belongs to Michael Haddix, who went in from 6 yards out late in the first quarter for Mississippi State. Knight wide to the right for the Bulldogs. Aldridge wide to the left. Running backs or flanker backs set up on the wings. One running back in behind John Bond against a 6-man front. Bond under heavy pressure, looking, firing to Aldridge, who grabs it at the 48, knocked off his feet just shy of midfield.
That time Corwin Aldridge just going downfield, turning back in on the little hook pattern. John Bond doing a good job of getting in the football. First down, Mississippi State, about the 49-yard line.
Ball is almost equidistant from the sideline stripes, so the Bulldogs have either side of the field from which to work. Kent Hall injured his knee against the Alabama Crimson Tide 2 weeks ago as the game captain today, but has seen no action. Mike McDonald, the junior from Hialeah, Florida, is operating at center for the Bulldogs. Offensively, 1st and 10, Mississippi State at the 49-yard line. LSU in a 5-3 alignment. Bond, quick pitch to Haddix. In trouble behind the line of scrimmage and ridden down. As LSU got great penetration from Tim Joyner, the defensive end, who fought off the blocker and made the tackle. A great defensive effort by Joyner. It cost Mississippi State 4 yards. And when you talk about individual play, that was as fine as you're going to see. He read the play, read the blocker, fought him off, made the tackle. You don't ask for much more than that. Bulldogs on 2nd and long will be 2nd and 14 at their own 45. 10.5 minutes to go in the first half. Young comes wide to the left. Knight goes wide to the right. Double coverage on Knight on the right side. Double coverage now on Young on the left side as LSU drops a linebacker off. Bond reads that coverage. Off the quick look-in, throws to Young, who grabs it and has it short of the first down along the 42-yard line as James Britt hit him immediately. Britt is a 5-year senior for LSU. Nope, they ruled he did not hang on to the football. So evidently he did not have possession when he hit the ground, he being Glenn Young, and Britt, as we told you, nailed him just as quickly as that ball arrived, and Young evidently was juggling the football as he went to the ground, and the football hit Scott Field's turf before it could be nestled into the chest of Glenn Young. Corwin Aldridge will replace Glenn Young and bring a play in from the Bulldog offensive staff on 3rd and long, 3rd and 14. LSU rotating their secondary defenses. The Bulldogs again use their running backs as flankers. One man in behind. Bond, the quarterback, who drops back to throw, gets set up, looking, firing over the middle. Pass incomplete. He threw it too high for Michael Haddix along the 25. And Bond really took a shot from Leonard Marshall. who hit him as he let loose that football, and he really took a shot, but he's okay. Bulldogs will punt for the second time this afternoon, and Lifford Hobley, Hobley, the LSU punt returner, trots back to the 15-yard line. Dana Moore will stand at the Bulldog 30, kick from about the 34. He'll be kicking into about an 8 to 10 mile an hour wind here in the second quarter. The snapback is good, not too much pressure. The kick is an end-over-ender. It's going to hit out at the 20, take a Bulldog bounce along the 24-yard line, and we'll be down by Corwin Aldridge at that point. A 30-yard kick upfield. No return as the Bulldogs down it just inside the LSU 25. Mississippi State 14, LSU 7, exactly 10 minutes to go in the first half. Bulldogs will operate with Ernest Barnes, Darrell Moore. Defensively at the tackles with Billy Jackson, Mike McInerney defensively at the ends. And we'll be back in a minute after we hear these messages from our local sponsors.
Fourth, beginning at 6:30.
Alan Risher will direct the LSU tack from their own 25-yard line on first down, 10 yards to go. Sets the I formation with Hilliard deep, and Miles close, uses motion with Fontenot from right back to left, and goes in the direction to Hilliard, who strikes a hole at right tackle, breaks out to the 40, and is finally ridden down along the 42-yard line. The little guy can scamper. 5'8" and 181. Calvin Zanders brought him down with Steve Johnson's help. But LSU gets their football team, offensively speaking, out of trouble up the field to the 42-yard line, registers their 7th first down, and now have operating room trailing 14-7. Again, 2 wide receivers for the Tigers. Alan Risher sets an eye in the backfield. Miles is the up back. Hilliard is the deep back. Bulldogs in a 5-2 defensive alignment. Now Hilliard has moved as a strong runner to the right side. Quick out pattern thrown up the field to Eric Martin at midfield, and he's out of bounds at the 50-yard line. A quick out to Eric Martin. Steve Johnson, the cornerback, gave him a little room, and Martin, who earlier turned that same pass, or a very similar one, into a 69-yard touch by running with the football after the catch, gave LSU a 7-0 lead, picks up 7 yards. It is 2nd and 3 for the Tigers at the 49. LSU in a 2 tight end set. Fontenot is in the slot to the right. Out of the I formation, he goes in motion. Back to the left. Here's LSU's Risher going to Hilliard, who is hit, breaks a tackle, hit by 2 more, and fights back to the line of scrimmage. Gee, the little guy has got a lot of leg power. Calvin Zanders and Kenneth Johnson nailed him along the line of scrimmage. Darrell Moore had a shot at him behind the line of scrimmage, but Hilliard some way got out of the grasp of the 6'2", 255-pound sophomore defensive tackle. LSU will be 3rd down and 3 at their own 49. Mississippi State in a 4-man front, 3-man linebacker set immediately behind him. LSU out of the I formation. Here's the quick pitch, right side. Hilliard trying to swing outside. No daylight. Breaks over the midfield stripe, but short of the first down as he comes to the Bulldog 49. Billy Jackson and Calvin Zanders and company chased him down a yard shy. And LSU will punt the football at the Mississippi State 49. Clay Parker, who averages 41.5 yards a kick, will stand at his own. 36 will boot from the 40. He's got a full field to kick in if he likes. He'll have a little wind at his back. We're waiting the snap. Bulldogs, 9 men on the line of scrimmage. Good snap from center. Kick is to the near sideline. Glenn Young will handle it the 15. Gets a block, comes out to the 20. Breaks to the 25, to the 30. Knocked off his feet as he crosses the 35, but there's a penalty flag down. We may have a clip along the 30-yard line. We'll check it out after the 34-yard kick by LSU. Bulldogs had a good return up to about the 37 or 38, but there's a penalty flag down. Our beautiful tan Blazers feel real good today. Ayoops on the square in Canton made them available to our broadcast crew, and we very proudly have worn them all season long. There have been occasions when things got hot and heavy that we had to take them off, but today, under 52-degree temperature, they feel real good.
And might add, too, that the Ayoops have a big sale going on right now, so it's a good time to shop and get ready for Christmas.
Get ready for the holidays. Shop for the family and shop for those Christmas presents. The penalty will move Mississippi State back to where the ball was originally caught by Glenn Young at the 15-yard line. Alabama's closed up the football game over Tuscaloosa. They're trailing Southern Mississippi by 6, 35-29 in the 4th quarter. What a shootout at Tuscaloosa. Mississippi State will be first down. 10 yards to go at the 15-yard line. The ball actually at about the 14.5. Bulldogs are leading 14-7. We'll check the offensive alignment for Mississippi State. Mike McDonald will remain at center. The guards will now be Don Scamato, the junior out of New Orleans, and Wayne Harris, the senior from Water Valley. The tackles are Bobby Mikatinas, the senior from Gulfport. Tony Sarter will be in there, the senior from Pearl. Officials calling timeout for the moment. Now we're about set to go. Everything is in readiness. That was the first major penalty of the day, by the way. Bulldogs come with Glenn Young to the left and Danny Knight to the right. Working out of the full house backfield, LSU's in a 4-4 defensive alignment. Bond reading that defense with a long snap count. Goes on the handoff, and Henry Kuntz, first man through, finds a little daylight up to the 20 and is knocked off his feet at the 21-yard line. As Kittock, K-I-T-T-O-C-K, Eric Kittock, the defensive tackle, makes the stop on the play for LSU. It'll be 2nd and 4. Bulldogs at their own 21-yard line. Operate with Bond at quarterback. Henry Kuntz, who just carried, is the up back. Michael Haddix deep left. Lamar Wyndham deep right. Wide receivers left and right for the Bulldogs. Aldrich and Knight on 2nd and 4. LSU stays in a 4-4 defense as Bond off the option. Tries to get around the corner. Makes the pitch to Wyndham, who's taken out of bounds along the 23 or 4-yard line. And that was a heart stopper as Rydell Melanson was right there almost to intercept that pitch out. It came awfully late. Bond was in trouble being spun around, but managed to get it out. And Wyndham had to reach behind him to grab it. It'll be short of the first down by about a yard. 3rd and 1. Bulldogs at their own 23.5-yard line. Obviously need the first down. Will be forced to kick into the wind. LSU, well aware of that, stacks 5 men on the line of scrimmage. 2 linebackers in tight. Bond, wide receivers left and right, checks the defense. Bond, inside option play, keeps, slides for the first down and more as he breaks to the 30, comes to the 37 and chased out of bounds by Jeffrey Dale along the 36 or 37-yard line.
And again, the Bulldog offense doing the good job of really sailing the LSU defense back to the inside. John Bond coming into the short side on the triple option, getting the keep, turning upfield, getting the first down at the 37-yard line.
Bulldogs are leading the LSU Tigers 14-7. We're midway in the second quarter, 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the second period. Mississippi State, 14, LSU 7. Bond on first down and 10 from the 37. Goes off the quick look-in pass, throws it to Knight, who cannot hang on along the midfield stripe. Danny Knight reaching high in the air, and that may be the first one this year. Anywhere close to Danny Knight he hasn't caught.
Well, one thing, too, he's sort of looking back into that sun, and John Bond did a good job of putting on the numbers. Again, just one of those things, Danny Knight dropping the football.
Clifford Hobley was the defender for LSU, going almost step for step with Danny Knight. It is 2nd and 10 at the 37-yard line. Bulldogs their own territory, leading at 14-7. Illinois killing Indiana 38-0 in the third quarter. Other scores for you a little bit later on. Bond ready to work off the inside option. Keeps, slides in the secondary over the 40 and fights his way out to about the 43 before Clifford Hobley can come up out of the secondary to make the initial contact for LSU. Pretty good pickup on a second down play, but it's going to leave Mississippi State 3rd down and 3 from their own 43. About 3.5 yards they'll need, actually. So again, a possession play faces the Bulldogs with a little under 7 minutes to go in the first half, and Mississippi State leading 14-7. Oklahoma State's leading Kansas State 7-3 at the halftime intermission. We're 3rd and 3, Mississippi State. LSU in a 5-man front, 2 linebackers set. Bond, long look, handles the ball, options it to the left side, keeps it, slides ahead, has a first down near midfield. Bond started to make the pitch and then just tucked it in his chest, and Lawrence Williams knocked him down as he nosed it up near the midfield stripe. Got about 6 out of it. But it's enough for the first down, just shy of the 50-yard line. Bulldogs 11th first down. LSU has registered 7. Bulldogs, Mike McDonald, Wayne Harris, Don Scamato, Bobby Mikatinas, Ken Lycum doing a job on that forward wall. 1st and 10, Mississippi State, a yard shy of midfield. Wide side of the field to the right of the quarterback, John Bond, who goes in that direction on the quick handoff. Goes to his fullback for a couple of yards, Henry Kuntz, before Ramsey Dardar, one of my favorite folks, makes the stop in the middle of the line for the LSU Tigers. 6'2" and 260, the senior from Cecilia, Louisiana. 2nd down and 8. Mississippi State and LSU territory at the 49. Bulldogs would certainly like to get something out of this drive, John, leading 14-7. They're using some time on the clock, 5:40 remaining in the first half. They took possession with about 7:20 to go before halftime. Bond again looking at a six-man LSU front. Off the quick option play, makes the pitch, almost threw it away, but LeVar Wyndham goes diving on the ball. And the Bulldogs had it set up well, but Bond was under heavy pressure and just did get it away. And the play will result in no gain. Rydell Melanson forced the pitch in a hurry. Third down, a good solid 8 yards to go. Ball just inside the 50-yard line. Danny Knight will bring the play in. So Mississippi State, who has twice converted a third down situation, converted a 3rd and 1, converted a 3rd and 3, now must convert a 3rd and 8, or give the ball to the Bengal Tigers of LSU. Running backs are flankers left and right. One running back in behind Bond. LSU in a six-man front. Bond wants to throw. LSU blitzing. Bond throws it immediately upfield. The pass is broken up at the 40. Just underthrown. Eugene Daniel got a hand on it. And again, Bond took some kind of shot, this time from Ramsey Dardar. It will be 4th down, Mississippi State, and 8 yards to go. Clifford Hobley anticipating the punt. Goes back in safety position for LSU. Back along the 10-yard line. Dana Moore will stand at the Bulldog 35 and kick from the 40. Dana can put all the foot into it he wants to right now because he's kicking into the wind. With 4:46 to go before halftime. We're awaiting the snapback. Long snap count, good snap, not much pressure. There's the kick, a driving high spiral, hanging high, and downfield. Kenny Rogers chases it down, as does Jerry Price, and it's going to be down by Mississippi State along the 3-yard line. That is a 47-yard kick if they give them all of it. And LSU will start actually about the 8 where it was originally touched by Jerry Price. We'll be back in 1 minute.
I spent most of my life here on the Mississippi. And there's one thing I can tell you for sure. Things change from time to time. But this old river always keeps on rolling, strong and steady like. And that's the way things are at Depositor Savings. Strong and steady. Best things never change. There's one thing you can always count on at Depositor Savings. They make you feel right at home.
Hello, I'm Pete Frierson. Welcome to Frierson's. We have Jackson's largest selection of decorating ideas and supplies, and a complete line of appliances by Hot Point, Genair, KitchenAid, and others. And we're still Mississippi's largest building supply company. Come on in to see us. We'll make it worth your trip.
Frierson, we're everything for your home, under one roof.
LSU first down and 10 from their own 8-yard line will be in the I formation. Dalton Hilliard will be deep. Mike Montz is close. LSU puts Fontenot in motion. They go to the up back, and Montz fights his way out over the 10, dives out to about the 12 or 13-yard line. We'll see exactly where his forward motion was. They're going to give him all of his dive to about the 13-yard line. He gained a good solid 5 yards. Mississippi State working with Ernest Barnes and Darrell Moore at the tackles, Mike McEnany, Billy Jackson at the ends, Carl Prince, Leon Cannon, John Miller, the linebackers, Steve Johnson, Kenneth Johnson, the side backs, Gary Lambert and Bobby Junkin, the safety men. Martin wide to the right, Fontenot wide to the, I'll make that Durrell, wide to the left. LSU on 2nd and 5, running back strong to the right. Out of a split backfield, Risher wants to throw, sets up, fires in the middle. Pass caught by Scott, the tight end at the 23, knocked off his feet immediately. LSU has a first down. John Miller making the hit. And the Tigers of LSU have picked up their 8th first down of the afternoon. They scored on a 69-yard catch and run by Eric Martin. They missed a 49-yard field goal attempt. The Bulldogs on a 26-yard touchdown pass from Tim Parent and Danny Knight got on the board, and then the Bulldogs drove 80 yards with Michael Haddix going the final 6. Here's Risher in the pocket to throw, sets up, looks, fires to the right side, out of the backfield. Craig will make that Gary James knocked down along the 27-yard line. Mike McEnany, the defensive end, and John Miller, the outside linebacker, making the hit, a gain of about 4. LSU hitting that delay out of the backfield to Gary James. Clock shows 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half. Mississippi State leading 14-7. LSU trying to move it upfield, get points on the board before the intermission. come with Doral to the right, Martin to the left. They put James in the slot, 3 wide receivers, 1 running back, Mike Montz behind, Alan Risher, who wants to throw. Risher wants to run the quarterback draw, does, comes up the middle, over the 30 to about the 33, brought down at that point. And making the hit was Carl Prince, the middle linebacker. But that'll be very close to a first down, and is a first down. LSU has registered their 9th first down of the afternoon. The ball is out at the, well, between the 37 and 38, let's call it the 38-yard line in LSU territory. LSU has all their times out remaining, as does Mississippi State. Running backs are split, 2 wide receivers for the Tigers. Bulldogs in the 4-3. Safety blitz is on. Risher's hit, fumbles the football. Who's got it? Safety blitz was on. LSU came up with the ball. Bobby Junkin really nailed him. Jarred him loose.
Boy, that was unbelievable, Jack. We really came with that safety blitz, got through clean, really hit Risher. One other LSU man there, about 4 or 5 maroon jersey. The ball just really fell right to him. LSU's ball on their own 28-yard line.
Loss of about 10 yards on the play, actually 9. Call it second down, 19 yards to go. LSU comes with a wide receiver, Doral to the right, Eric Martin to the left. They're in the I formation. James is deep and Muntz is close. Risher goes off the right side, running, fires upfield, pass, caught, and out of bounds goes the receiver at the 40-yard line, Junius Doral, who got back the yardage that were lost a moment ago and an extra yard or 2. Let's break 5 seconds right now for station identification. This is the Mississippi State University Football Network. LSU, 3rd and 8 at their own 40 in a possession play with 2 minutes before halftime. 3 wide receivers for LSU, 1 running back. Here's Risher going to throw to the left side. Pass is caught. Handling the football is James and has a first down at midfield. Gary James coming out of the backfield, ran 7 yards upfield, squared to the sidelines, caught the football, made the first down. So LSU cashes in a big 3rd down opportunity. The first on this drive they've had to cash in, but they did it. They stay alive with 1:50 before halftime. Bulldogs are leading the Tigers 14-7, but the Tigers are moving. Again, the 3 wide receiver set for LSU. 2 to the left of Risher, the quarterback. 1 to his right. 1 running back. Risher back to throw. Risher running the draw play. Comes up the middle. Breaks to the 40. Stays on his feet to the 33-yard line. Risher running beautifully. John Miller finally pinned him down. So the Bulldogs had the receivers covered, but Risher found the lane and brought it 17 yards. Registers LSU's 11th first down. Each team has 11 now. Wide to the right for LSU. Comes Fontenot. To the left side, Eric Martin. Running backs are split, and James and Muntz. And Risher, again, checking the defense. Long snap count. Risher looking. Risher wanting to throw left. Pass is caught, and out of bounds goes Eric Martin along the 27-yard line on a quick out pattern.
Well, he checked off the end, saw the safety blitz come in, hit the quick out pattern, also stops the clock.
The down will be second down for LSU, about 4 yards to go at the 27-yard line. Clock stops with 1:22 remaining before halftime. Bulldogs leading 14-7. That lead in jeopardy right now. Doral comes to the right side, Martin to the left. Risher checking the Bulldog defensive alignment. Puts his running back strong to the left out of the pro set. Safety blitz by Junkin. Being bluffed right now. Risher back to throw. Fires left side to the tight end, who grabs it. Knocked off his feet at the 23 is Malcolm Scott. Penalty flag is on the play.
Now, I believe it'll be an illegal procedure against LSU. Looked like the tight end may have moved just before the snap of the football.
The officials indicate illegal procedure, as John pointed out, against LSU, which removed the football if the Bulldogs elect to take the penalty. However, the gain on the play was negligible, as the play is, well, they are going to take the penalty, so we needn't suppose any longer.
That's correct.
Second down. It'll be about 9 yards to go for the LSU Tigers. They're in Bulldog territory at the 32-yard line. Clock shows 1:17 remaining before halftime, and LSU has 3 times out remaining. They're trailing 14-7. Practically no wind at the moment. Bulldog band will be performing at the halftime. Lights are on here at Scott Field. First man in history to say that over the air. Alan Risher ready to work with two wide receivers to split backfield. Risher under pressure, looking, fires to the left side, pass incomplete. Intended for James and underthrown. Mike McInerney had good pressure on him.
Again, the Bulldog defense putting good pressure. Mike McInerney, Ernest Barnes coming through, making Risher throw the ball just a little quicker.
Risher has not been off target on many occasions this afternoon. He has thrown the ball extremely well. As we told you, he's a 62% completion record coming into this ball game. Out of 166 throws coming in, had been intercepted only 7 times. 3rd and 9 LSU at the Bulldog 32. Risher will go to the I formation with Muntz the up back. Long snap count by Risher. Risher rolls in the pocket to throw. Sets up, has time, looks, comes over the middle. Pass caught at the 12-yard line, at the 10-yard line. Eric Martin is off his feet. LSU has a first down. They brought Martin down and across and hit him in the middle. First down LSU at the Mississippi State 11-yard line. Time is out on the field with timeout. We'll be back in 1 minute after we hear from our local sponsors.
Coke is it. Coke is it. The most refreshing way to make the most of every day. And wherever you go and whatever you do, there's something big waiting for me and you. Coke is it. The biggest taste you've ever found. Coke is it. The one that never lets you down. Coke is it. The most refreshing taste around. Coke is it.
It's tough to beat the American farmer.
Tough to beat the American way.
Tough to beat what keeps them growing.
Tough to beat those products from Mobay.
Mobay Chemical Corporation is proud of the contribution Mississippi agriculture makes to the American way of life. And we're proud of the contribution our products make to the productivity of the Mississippi farmer. Mobay and Mississippi Agriculture, partners in productivity.
LSU Tigers knocking on the door, trailing 14-7. Go with the 3 wide receiver set. A minute before halftime. Alan Risher has Muntz in behind him, the only running back. Risher checks the Bulldog defense, rolls to but the quarterback draw but cannot go. This time as the Bulldogs. Bobby Junkin, the safety man, and Carl Prince, the middle linebacker. We're right there on top of him. No gain. The clock will be killed by the LSU Tigers, who will take a timeout, trailing 14-7, and we'll resume in 1 minute after we hear from the Gulf Oil Company.
Back when they built superhighways to the city, they planned for everything, except for this. Fortunately, there's a tough oil made for today's tough traffic. Gulf Pride with ZDP, one of the toughest anti-wear ingredients. So change to Gulf Pride. Then if traffic's hard to take, at least your engine can take it. Gulf Pride, that tough oil. Make sure that Gulf is with you.
The graveyard of chainsaws. Some with names you'd recognize, others are unknown. But in this world of broken promises, there is hope. Steel, tough, dependable, built to survive. Steel, you get what you pay for. With chainsaws going under every day, you can save yourself a lot of grief and get a Steel.
Bulldogs leading 14-7. LSU 2nd and 10 at the Mississippi State 11. 3 wide receivers. 2 to the left of Risher, 1 to the right side. Muntz set in behind him. Risher back to throw. Looks left, fires left. Pass caught. James is scoring. Gary James, coming off the wide receiver of the flanker back spot, ran his pattern well, made a great catch from Risher and a great effort to get into the end zone. And LSU caps a 92-yard drive that started with 4:34 on the clock. It used up almost 4 minutes in its momentum. It goes 92 yards, and LSU will try to tie it up right now with Juan Betanzos, trying to hit number 35 in a row. He's 34 out of 34. Awaiting the hold, the kick is up. He is good. We're tied at 14. LSU will kick to the Bulldogs with 43 seconds before halftime after we hear from our local sponsors for the next 60 seconds.
Graduated here in 1950.
These are festive times. Fall and campus football, something to look forward to every autumn at colleges and universities everywhere. Nothing else can match the panorama of a campus football game. But of all the elements that make up college football, none can be more important than a stadium of a large enough capacity that would enable all students, alumni, and fans alike the opportunity to join the fun. Mississippi State University sorely lacks in this category. Our stadium, Scott Field, is the smallest football stadium in the SEC, less than half the average size stadium in the conference. Plans are underway to change this, and your help is needed. Stadium expansion at MSU can become a reality only when initial funding is complete. Funding provided for by the Priority Seating Option Plan. But time is running short. For information on how you can help, contact the MSU Athletic Department and ask about the option plan.
Zos will kick it off for LSU, kicks it high and short, waiting for it. Fair catch taken by Corwin Ulrich at the 30-yard line. And we've got a little chicken fight going on out in the center of the playing field right now. Corwin Ulrich takes the ball at the Mississippi State 31-yard line on the fair catch of the high short kickoff, which has been a trademark for LSU over the past few weeks. John Bond will bring his offensive unit up on the line of scrimmage with 43 seconds in which to operate. 3 times out remaining if he so elects to use any or all of them. He'll have 2 wide receivers, 1 left, 1 right. Glenn Young is on the left side. Here's a quick inside handoff and nowhere for Mike Haddix to go. He got maybe a yard. I'll make that Henry Kuntz. Got back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all. Clock ticking down with 30 seconds. We're tied at 14. We're at the halftime or very, very close to it. Jerry Price will bring the play in from Coach Emery Ballard and the staff as he'll replace Danny Knight. 18 seconds on the halftime clock and 13 seconds remaining on the play clock. You have 25 seconds which to get the ball in play, of course. Now it is down to 6 seconds, 5 seconds on the play clock. Bond, long snap count. Quarterback sneaks it straight ahead. That'll run out the end of the first half, and we'll be tied at 14. 14-14. We'll be back with halftime intermission with Dr. James McComas as our very special guest. But first, on our network line, we want to hear from Budweiser, from Fred Stores of Mississippi, and from our local stations.
Farmers are the strength of America, and Farm Bureau offers strength for farmers. When you join Farm Bureau, you become a part of the largest general farm organization in the world. You receive a free $1,000 accidental death insurance policy, plus Farm Bureau's Reward Protection Service. You may buy high-quality, safe-mark products at real savings and many other services. The Mississippi Farm Bureau Federation, leading, representing, serving Mississippi agriculture.
Look, Teddy, Mom fixed her favorite, tasty brine bacon with delicious hickory smoked taste. Hey, sis, telephone. Now, Brian is all mine. Hickory smoked taste. Okay. Who ate my brine bacon? Teddy.
Brine makes you glad you're hungry. Brine makes you sad you're through. Brine makes so many good meats to eat, 'cause brine makes the taste come through.
I spent most of my life here on the Mississippi, and there's one thing I can tell you for sure. Things change from time to time, but this old river always keeps on rolling, strong and steady like. And that's the way things are at Depositor Savings, strong and steady. Best things never change. There's one thing you can always count on at Depositor Savings. They make you feel right at home.
From Mississippi State will be Corwin Ulrich on the far side and Jerry Price on the near side with the restraining line up between the 45 and the 50. Juan Betanzos, the sophomore out of Mexico City. The place kicker for LSU is 35 out of 35 in the extra point department this year, and is teeing the ball up along the 40-yard line, and we very shortly will be getting the second half underway. The LSU drive of 92 yards in 14 plays with Gary James catching an 11-yard touchdown pass. And the Betanzos point after touchdown enabled LSU to tie up the football game. LSU scored first in the ball game when Alan Risher hit Eric Martin with a catch, and Martin completed the catch and run for 69 yards. The Bulldogs came back to tie it at 7 when they themselves put on a spirited drive that went 62 yards in 5 plays, and Tim Parrington who was in the ball game at that time, subbing for the starting quarterback John Bond, hit Danny Knight down the right sidelines with a pass that carried 26 yards. The Bulldogs then took, with 8 seconds to go in the first quarter, a 14-7 lead when they capped an 80-yard drive in 9 plays with Michael Haddix on the triple option going over from 6 yards out. Bob Morgan's second touchdown of the afternoon made it 14-7, and the ball game seesawed throughout the first half before LSU made that final drive just before the intermission to tie it up at 14. Now, the Tigers did have another scoring opportunity, that in the second quarter, but Betanzos was off to the right on a 49-yard field goal attempt. So he's ready to kick the football, and Glenn Young, loosening himself up along the goal line, will be ready to receive it. We're waiting right now to get the stadium clock back in operation. It had ticked down to the 0-0-0, the triple zeros, but then inadvertently jumped back up to where it showed about 20 minutes on the clock. So they're going to let it tick down now, I guess, to the point where the seconds indicate 0-0. Then they'll be able to knock those minutes off, and we'll be ready to go. And we do hope, of course, that the clock will be operative throughout the ball game. Remind you that Mississippi State will open their basketball season, actually with an exhibition game against Marathon Oil on the 16th of November, a Tuesday night here on the campus. And the regular campaign will get underway when they meet Coach M.K. Turk and the Golden Eagles of Southern Mississippi on Monday night, November the 29th. Season tickets are still on sale for basketball, and you can contact the Mississippi State University Athletic Department. You can write them at drawer 5327, or you can give them a call, and they'll be happy to take care of your needs, or come by anytime, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m., and secure your season tickets for basketball. And we want to, of course, extend congratulations to the University of Southern Mississippi on their big football win this afternoon, defeating the Alabama Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa and breaking that monumental streak of consecutive wins in Denny Stadium. Well, the clock has ticked down to the 2-0 showing. Now there's 17 minutes showing and has stopped. That's the official clock. We're still waiting for the halftime to get underway, the second half of the ball game. And whether that situation can be rectified remains to be seen. The officials have been discussing it, and now we're going to have a meeting of the board of directors. Now they've got it down to the 15-minute mark, so evidently it is working. And let's see, Robbie Ware, who's fighting the LSU Tigers, will help us to keep an eye on the clock and make sure that it's operating. John Correro will do the same, and Jim Ellis will handle everything else. Okay, here we go. Juan Betanzos will kick it off. We're tied at 14. We're starting the third period of play here at Scott Field, and forward on the ball, Betanzos kicks it short as expected, and waiting for it is Kenny Rogers, and he'll fair catch it along the 23-yard line. So the Bulldogs took no chance on mishandling the football on the short kickoff and get it out at the 23-yard line, and we'll play it at that point. The ball will be on the hash mark on the far side of the football field, which is to the right of the quarterback John Bond, who will work with Henry Kuntz as his up back, Michael Haddix and Lamar Wyndham as deep running backs. We'll have Danny Knight to the right side and Glenn Young to the left. Mike McDonald gets out over the ball. We're set to play. LSU's in their 4-4 defense. Bulldogs in a full house backfield. First play of the third quarter sees Mississippi State go with Kuntz in the middle, and Kuntz comes up to about the 26-yard line and is taken off his feet as he had to circle behind the umpire after hitting the hole. And LSU had Rydell Melanson coming down the line to make the stop. How's my Cajun?
Well, you're doing a great job. I tell you, I'm just glad it's you and not me.
Well, my daughter Kay gave me a little lesson last week. We were visiting with her down in Morgan City, Louisiana, and she told me that Rydell Melanson was Melanson, not Malencon. 2nd and 7 at the 26-yard line for Mississippi State. Opening moments of the third quarter, and Bond on the quick pitch gives it to Haddix, who gets a block, fakes his way to the 35, and just short of the 35 will have a first down. Good blocking on the corner. Lawrence Williams got over there with James Britt to bring him down for LSU. And Mike Haddix picks up Mississippi State's first down. Knows the ball just shy of the 35-yard line, where we'll call it first down and 10 yards to go. Mike McDonald working at center, Bill Bell, Wayne Harris at the guards, Tony Sarter, Bobby Mikatinas at the tackles. For Mississippi State offensively on the front 5. First and 10, Bulldogs at their own 35. Again, Bond reads the defense, goes on the draw play inside, and coming out to about the 36 or 37 is Lamar Wyndham, and he got himself about 3 before Lawrence Williams and Bill Elko collaborated for LSU to make the hit on the play. They say his forward motion actually to the 36-yard line, where it'll be second down and a long 8 yards to go. Glenn Young and Danny Knight check into the ball game. Corwin Aldridge and Jerry Price come out. Knight will be the wide receiver on the right and Glenn Young on the left. 13:30 to go in the third quarter. We're tied at 14. LSU in almost a 6-man front now. Bond looking at the 2 linebackers. Quick look-in pass to Young, who makes a diving catch at midfield. Glenn Young making a fine reception just in front of James Britt. It is first down, Mississippi State.
Doing a good job of catching the slant-in pass. That time LSU brought the cornerback in, had the right pass call. John Bond did a good job of getting the football to Glenn Young.
Corwin Aldridge now replaces Young. He goes wide to the left. Knight stays in the ball game, goes wide to the right. LSU drops in their 4-3 defensive alignment. Bond again checks the defense. Out of the full house backfield, comes on the inside option, keeps, slides in the secondary, is hit hard, and chased out of bounds. Just as he gets into LSU territory along the 47, and Jeffrey Dale was the man that came up from his right corner position to make the hit. The pickup will be almost 4 yards, second down, 6 yards to go. Ball in LSU territory, in possession of the Mississippi State Bulldogs in a tied-up 14-14 ball game. LSU uses a variety of defenses. They'll show you a 5 front, a 4 front, a 6 front, and right now they're in that 5-man front as the Bulldogs on second down and 6 go on the inside handoff and driving straight ahead. Lamar Wyndham cracks inside the 45 and down to about the 43, maybe almost the 42. Al Richardson made first contact for LSU. Lawrence Williams, the right side linebacker, helped out. The down will be third down, about 2 yards to go for the first down at the LSU 43. Obviously, Mississippi State needs the first down to keep the drive alive in a 14-14 ball game. Bulldogs again going with the 2 wide receiver set and the full house backfield. LSU in a 4-man front now with 2 linebackers in tight. And Bond off the wide option comes left and drives for the first down as he fights his way inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Mississippi State blocking well. Moving the football.
Ran the triple option into the short side. That time LSU took the defensive end, put him head up with Glenn Young, left a big gap for the quarterback to turn inside. He did. Got good inside blocking from the offensive lineman. Got the first down to the LSU 34-yard line.
Al Richardson and Jeffrey Dale made the stop on the last play for LSU as the Bulldogs are now first and 10 at the 34. LSU in a 5-man front, 2 linebackers set. Wide receivers left and right for John Bond, who comes again off the option and gives inside and driving straight ahead inside the 30 and down to the 27-yard line is Henry Kuntz. Again, Jeffrey Dale and Al Richardson collaborate to make the stop for LSU. Excellent first down play that picked up about 6.5 yards. Ball is just outside the LSU 27-yard line. We're 14-14 in the third quarter. Bulldogs took the opening kickoff. They have marched it from their own 23 to the LSU 27. Have picked up 3 first downs on the drive and are second down right now and about 3.5 to 4 yards to go. Here's Bond, inside handoff to Haddix, breaks it in the secondary to the 20, knocked off his feet at the 15-yard line. Lipford Hobley was the man that brought him down, and a great block on the left side. Behind Sarter and Bell, and McDonald gave him the hole.
A little counter dive, and as you said, great blocking on the left side. Michael Haddix going upfield to the LSU 15-yard line.
The wide side of the field will be to the right of the Mississippi State offensive set, and Jerry Price becomes the wide receiver in that area. Corwin Ulrich is to the left side. Bulldogs are first and 10 at the 15. Again, Bond checking the LSU defense. Bond up the read, goes inside, and the first man through is Henry Kuntz, but he didn't get much because Bill Elko had gotten good penetration defensively and ran to Zidardar for LSU, and there's no appreciable gain on the play. We'll call it second and 10 at the 15. LSU had the right defensive slant on things that time, and the Tigers did their job defensively. Wind continues to blow into the face of the Bulldogs here in the third quarter. Only about a 10-mile-an-hour wind. However, it's chilling the crowd here a little bit. It is second and 10 at the 15-yard line. Bond again reads the LSU defense. Long snap count. Comes on the short side option. Keeps. Drives inside the 10. Fights his way to the 8. And is knocked off his feet along the 8-yard line. Lipford Holly, the sophomore from Shreveport. And Al Richardson, the veteran senior 3-year linebacker from Baton Rouge, made the hit. It'll be third down, about 3.5 yards to go for the first down, which will have to be picked up inside the, well, almost at the 5-yard line, and the ball right now is about 8.5 yards away, so it's third down and about 3.5 for Mississippi State. First down have to be picked up right along the 5-yard line. Bond again checking the defense. Long snap count. Bond going on the option. Can't make the pitch. Is going to be ridden down from behind as Rydell Melanson and Al Richardson got to him and dumped him about the 7-yard line. LSU did a good job of cutting off the pitch man.
Well, a good job on the part of the LSU defense. John Bond was sort of hit a little bit at the line of scrimmage. Was not able to really get around the corner. If he had, he would have had a lot of pressure on the defensive cornerback for LSU because he had Michael Haddix out there to make the pitch. But LSU was able to get him before he turned upfield.
Dana Moore is checked on, which would indicate Mississippi State may attempt a field goal. Keep in mind that Moore, out of a punt formation, threw a touchdown pass. And keep in mind also that Brent Parker, the holder, was a high school quarterback. The ball will be put down if it is kicked at the 14-yard line. It'll be a 24-yard effort. That's what it's going to be, a 24-yard effort. But we have a delay of the game. The ball was actually snapped and kicked, but the whistle had sounded. And Mississippi State will draw a delay of the game, which actually will give Moore a better angle as he'll be kicking with the wide side of the field to his left. LSU, of course, will be putting pressure on him. So the kick now will be from 5 yards further out. Delay of the game against Mississippi State. The now will be 4th down, 7 yards to go for the record from the 12-yard line. The ball will be placed down at the 19-yard line, and it will be a 29-yard effort, which is well within the reach of Dana Moore as far as strength is concerned. The kick by Moore again is high and long, and he is good. And Mississippi State takes a 17-14 lead with 8:33 to go here in the third quarter. And we'll be back with a Bulldog kickoff after...
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, John.
Doing a little remodeling, eh?
Yeah, I'm trying, man.
Yeah, who's doing it?
Well, Frierson Building Supply had all the materials, and they put us in touch with people to do the work. Why, they're even helping us select paper, paints, appliances, and carpets. You know, Frierson really does have everything you need under one roof.
Frierson, we're everything for your home under one roof.
4525 Lynch Street Extension.
You're back with all your summer friends. The sun is gonna shine again. Now there's hard work to do, but you know when you're through, there's something big waiting for you. For you.
Coke is it, the biggest taste you've ever found. Coke is it, the one that never lets you down. Coke is it, the most refreshing taste around. Coke is it, Coke is it.
Stripes are barely rippling on the flagstaff. Here's Dana Moore coming forward. Hits it well, drives it long. It is going to Martin deep in the end zone. He is not going to run it out. And LSU will take the ball out near the 20-yard line. Or exactly at the 20-yard line, for that matter. LSU will be first down and 10 at the 20. LSU's first offensive possession here in the second half comes with 8:33 to go on the clock. They're now trailing 17-14. They have led by 7-0 and trail 14-7. LSU with the I formation uses motion with Fontenot from right back to left, and Risher goes on the inside handoff, and Hilliard finds a great hole, breaks in the secondary, over the 30, out to the 33. Before Bobby Junkin, Gary Lambert, and Kenny Johnson can bring him down.
This is a misdirection play that really has given the Bulldogs fits. I know Auburn really used it successful against us. Alabama used it, but it's just a misdirection play and a little trap play, and really has caused the Bulldogs defense some problems.
First down LSU at the 33-yard line, their 15th first down of the afternoon. Again, Hilliard is deep and Muntz is close out of the eye. Doral is to the right side. The give is to Hilliard coming off right tackle, and this time he didn't find the big hole. He got a couple because Carl Prince and Billy Jackson were there to pinch him down along the 35-yard line, where it is second down and 8 yards to go. Billy Jackson seeing his first action since, before the Miami ball game. And Carl Prince, of course, when Herman Green in the Miami ball game was injured and was moved from outside linebacker to middle linebacker. Second and 8. LSU, again the I formation. They shift the tailback Hilliard to the left to make it a strong set. Behind Alan Risher, who wants to throw, sets up in the pocket, fires over the middle, pass caught by the tight end. Malcolm Scott at the 45, and he's down at the 46. Gary Lambert was the man that brought him down. Junkin was on the blitz, left it wide open in the middle.
Well, LSU done a good job of throwing the football down the middle. They've had success the first half with it, and have come back the second half throwing down the middle again.
Bobby Junkin who was a safety man, was on the blitz. And, of course, when he vacated, trying to put pressure on Risher, that left the tight end, Malcolm Scott, open. 1st and 10 LSU at the 47-yard line. Tigers Risher off the draw play, comes inside. Muntz drives it up to the midfield stripe and pushes it into Bulldog territory about the 48-yard line and got a good solid 5 yards out of it before Carl Prince and Mike McInerney could bring him down. LSU will be 2nd and 5 in Mississippi State territory at the 48-yard line. 7 minutes to play in the third quarter. Mississippi State 17, LSU 14. Remember, over many of these same stations, a scoreboard will follow with complete results of all the games played today. LSU goes to their 3 wide receiver set with Muntz, the one running back behind Risher, who looks to the left and fires. The pass is caught by Hilliard, and then I think he may have dropped it as he was hit by Kenneth Johnson.
He got a tremendous lick from Kenny Johnson. A great job of coming up after seeing the little quick out pass. Made the lick, caused the ball to be incomplete.
John, I think he may have ruled it complete, and that he fell on it because they picked up a yard on the play. We're going to call it 3rd and 4. I thought he had ruled it incomplete.
Well, he jarred him from the football. He may have had possession, but Kenny came up and hit him and caused a fumble then because the ball did go flying out of bounds.
So LSU is 3rd and 4 at the Bulldog 47. Again, the strength of the running backs are to the right side in motion in that direction from Duval. And here's Risher wanting to throw, and he does to the left side, incomplete, intending it for Hilliard, and he overshot him. So LSU will bring their punting unit on. The Bulldog defense is held, and into the ball game comes Clay Parker, the sophomore from Grayson, Louisiana, who will stand at about his own 39-yard line. The barefooted kicker will be kicking away from Glenn Young or Gary Lambert. He'll be kicking from about the LSU 43. Bulldog twin safeties are at the 10 and 15 respectively. We're awaiting the snap. 9 men on the line of scrimmage. There's a good snap from center, not much pressure. The kick is a long driving high spiral that is going to carry to the goal line and into the end zone. So the 47-yard kick actually becomes 27 net as Mississippi State will play from the 20-yard line, leading it 17-14. The youngster from Mississippi State shaken up. We'll be back in 1 minute after we hear from our local sponsors.
When you're trying to get up a hill and you've got 10 tons of steel staring you in the face, that's when you really need Gulf Super Unleaded, the gas with guts. It's one of the highest octane unleaded gasolines you can buy to help make sure you can pass, climb, and accelerate. Gulf Super Unleaded, the gas with guts. Make sure that Gulf is with you.
By the Union Program Council in the Choral Department. Tickets are available in room 208 of the Union Building here on campus. $7.50 for students and $8.50 for non-students. The Madrigal Singers, John, they feed good and they sing better. Incidentally, Monday and Tuesday following that event, we'll tell you a little bit about a crafts fair that's going to be held. Right now, the Bulldogs are 1st and 10 at their own 20. 6.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter, leading 17-14. And Bond off the wide side option. Tries to make the pitch, but cannot, and is going to be knocked down back along the 16-yard line. LSU got great penetration from Leonard Marshall and from Joyner, the defensive end, and it cost the Bulldogs 4 yards on the play. LSU going head up defensively. Following the December 3rd and 4th presentation of the Madrigal Dinner, on Monday and Tuesday, December 6th and 7th, from 9 in the morning till 6 p.m. will be a crafts fair in the Union Building. A great place to buy for yourself or Christmas gifts. Will be held on all floors of the Union Building. 2nd and 14, Mississippi State, their own 16-yard line. Rotation in the LSU secondary defense as Bond wants to throw the look-in pass that is batted up in the air and incomplete. LSU got a hand on it as Lawrence Williams, the left side linebacker, reached up and tipped it away. So it'll be 3rd down and 14 for Mississippi State. LSU's defense doing their job right now with 5:46 to go in the third quarter. No appreciable breeze blowing in the stadium as Corwin Aldridge brings the play in and replaces Glenn Young at the end position. He'll be the wide receiver left. Wide to the right side goes Jerry Price. Haddix and Wyndham are deep, and Kuntz is close out of the wishbone set. LSU's in a 4-2 defensive alignment. Bond handling the ball. Comes inside on the draw to Henry Kuntz, who gets some daylight out to the 25 and make that Lamar Wyndham out to about the 27, but short of the first down as Jeffrey Dale took him off his feet. But Bulldogs couldn't break him up the field far enough to get the first down, and they're 3 yards shy of it. It'll be 4th and 3 after the gain of 11. And the Bulldogs will be forced to punt. And Dana Moore will be kicking to Lifford Hobley, Hobley. Moore will stand at the 13-yard line, kick from about the 17. Hobley backpedals in single safety. Back to the LSU 27-yard line. Tigers drop 3 men off for blocking purposes. Moore kicks a driving spiral high in the air. Hobley signals for a fair catch and takes it at the LSU 25-yard line. And that's a kick of 49 yards. And no return. And LSU trailing 17-14 with 5:02 to go in the third quarter. We'll get the football at the 25-yard line, and we'll be set to go after we hear this message from...
Graduated here in 1950.
These are festive times. Fall and campus football, something to look forward to every autumn at colleges and universities everywhere. Nothing else can match the panorama of a campus football game. But of all the elements that make up college football, none can be more important than a stadium of a large enough capacity that would enable all students, alumni, and fans alike the opportunity to join the fun. Mississippi State University sorely lacks in this category. Our stadium, Scott Field, is the smallest football stadium in the SEC, less than half the average size stadium in the conference. Plans are underway to change this, and your help is needed. Stadium expansion at MSU can become a reality only when initial funding is complete. Funding provided for by the Priority Seating Option Plan. But time is running short. For information on how you can help, contact the MSU Athletic Department and ask about the option plan.
The LSU Tigers are 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Alan Risher breaks his huddle, sends Fontenot wide to the left, brings Eric Martin to the right. As his running backs, Gary James and Mike Muntz out of a pro set in the backfield, looking at a Bulldog 4-3 defense. Risher wants to throw, under pressure, screens it to the right side, and out at the 26-yard line, Gary James catches it and is taken off his feet by Clay Peacher and by Billy Jackson. A gain of a yard on the screen to the right side. LSU will show you a very, very diversified passing attack. They throw them all. A controlled passing attack that is awfully, awfully hard to defend. 2nd down and 9 for the Tigers. Again, same offensive set. Fontenot wide to the left, and to the right side comes Eric Martin. Running back strong to the right side on the LSU formation, and Risher again is in the pocket to throw, and he fires over the middle, and the pass is complete. Receiver breaks the tackle. Scott, now he's knocked off his feet at the 45-yard line. Malcolm Scott, the big tight end, 6'5" and 240. Makes about his 4th catch of the day, I think. And he did a good job of running with the football and picking up an LSU first down. Out at the 46-yard line, a 20-yard pickup. 17th first down for the LSU Tigers. Mississippi State in the ball game has 15. Risher, 17 out of 21 for 229 yards in this ball game. And Allen is ready to work again, and he wants to throw again. And he sets up, and now he's running out of the pocket. Fires it to the left and hits Muntz at the 45, and he's down to the 38 and fumbles the ball. And Mississippi State recovered it, but they're going to rule him dead. A penalty flag is also on the play. Well, you hear the crowd reaction. The play was stopped at the Mississippi State 38. Muntz was hit and went down to the ground and coughed up the football. Now we're going to get the call against Mississippi State. A defensive hold. And from the point of the 38-yard line on the completed forward pass, Mississippi State draws their 2nd major penalty of the day, which will march the football down to the Bulldog 23-yard line. Long gainer and a long penalty. Doral comes wide to the right for LSU. Eric Martin is sent wide to the left. They put the 3 wide receivers out with James in the slot to the left. Muntz, the 1 running back. Alan Risher checking a 4-3 defense. Off the quarterback draw, comes up the middle, and is knocked off his feet along the 20-yard line. Carl Prince, the middle linebacker, was the man that was there to meet him. Clay Peacher helped out.
There's another flag down also, Jack.
Got a penalty marker down. And we'll read this one and see what we have. Defensive holding against Mississippi State again. May have been a personal foul.
But it's a personal foul.
Yes, that's the sign, personal foul. Put the ball on the 10-yard line. I'm not sure whether a first down can be earned or not. I don't think so. Or can it? What do you think, John?
It can, Jack. It'll be just inside the 1.
LSU, first down and 10. 2 wide receivers left with motion from Fontenot back to the right. Risher going inside, and Montz fights his way forward to about the 7-yard line. Push back out to the 8. Montz carrying for about 4. It'll be second down and 6. LSU at the Bulldogs' 7-yard line. LSU will go to a 2 tight end set now as Earl Curtis checks in the ball game. And the wide receiver, Eric Martin, will come out. Tigers are second down and about 6 at the Bulldogs' 7-yard line, trailing 17-14. Tight end set, wingback set to the left. Alan Risher puts him in motion, back to the right side. Risher rolls back to throw. Risher being chased, fires it out of the rear of the end zone over everybody's head. He just threw it away. He just unloaded that one.
Well, good defensive coverage in the secondary.
So Risher, although obviously throwing the football away, could not be called for intentionally grounding because there were people in the end zone and the ball went over their head and up in the seats. Fontenot checks back in the lineup for LSU. Herman Fontenot to bring instructions in from Coach Jerry Stovall and the staff. 3rd and 6 at the Bulldogs' 7-yard line. LSU start at their own 25. They're now knocking on the door out of the I formation. They put a wing back to the left and Fontenot out of the 2 tight end set. Bulldogs in a 5-4 defense. Fontenot's in motion. Now Risher slips and falls as he tries to come out from under center. He slipped and fell back at the 8-yard line. It'll be 4th and 8 for LSU. They say he's actually down at the 11-yard line, so it'll be 4th and 10. And Juan Betanzos, who's 9 out of 16 in the field goal department and who missed a 49-yarder earlier in the ball game, will have the ball in the center of the football field and will attempt a field goal from the 17-yard line, which will be a 27-yarder for the LSU Tigers. We are awaiting the snapback. It is put down. The kick is long and high, and it is good. We are tied at 17. The clock shows 2:08 to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll return with the LSU kickoff after we hear a station identification and a 60-second message from our local sponsor.
It's tough to beat the American farmer.
Tough to beat the American way.
Tough to beat what keeps them growing.
Tough to beat those products from Mobay.
Mobay Chemical Corporation is proud of the contribution Mississippi agriculture makes to the American way of life. And we're proud of the contribution our products make to the productivity of the Mississippi farmer. Mobay and Mississippi Agriculture, partners in productivity.
You beat the team you had to beat.
Hey, look!
You did it in the dust and heat. Now you're thirsty and hot, and you know what to do. 'Cause there's something big waiting for me and you.
Coke is it, the biggest taste you've ever found. Coke is it, the one that never lets you down. Coke is it, the most refreshing taste around. Coke is it, Coke is it.
Juan Betanzos will kick it off for LSU. Glenn Young will be the one deep man for Mississippi State at the goal line. Up along the 20 will be Danny Knight on the left side and Kenny Rogers on the right side. Up along the 25 will be Michael Haddix in case Betanzos kicks it short as he has been doing. We are tied at 17. LSU led 7-0. We were tied 7-7. Bulldogs took a 14-7 lead. LSU tied it just before the half at 14. Bulldogs kicked the field goal midway in the 3rd quarter. LSU with 2:08 to go in the 3rd quarter ties it up again. It's been that kind of an afternoon, and now into the early evening where the temperature has dropped 11 degrees since kickoff time. It's down to 41 and dropping. Betanzos comes forward, kicks it high in the air. Waiting for it as Rogers along the sideline is going to come up to about the 20 and actually stepped out of bounds, I said, along the 17-yard line. An outstanding political strategist. The Washington Post described him as the 2nd most powerful man in this country. And I understand the Washington Post is a newspaper in the nation's capital.
We've got a final score, Jack. SMU defeats Texas Tech 34-27. A 91-yard kickoff return with 4 seconds left in the ball game after Texas Tech had tied the game 27-27. So SMU defeats Texas Tech 34-27. Another big victory for Coach Bobby Collins.
91-yard kick return with 4 seconds on the clock. Like Yogi Berra says, it's never over until it's over. Batanzos kicks it off again to the right side. Glenn Young is going to let the ball hit at the 10. He scoops it up, comes up to the 15, to the 20, comes to the 25, breaks to the 30, and is out of bounds along the 30-yard line in front of the LSU bench. Youngster for LSU is shaken up on the play, but he's okay. He's coming back up. And that is Freddie Lewis. So Mississippi State, after the 5-yard penalty was assessed against LSU on an out-of-bounds kick, gets the football out at the 31-yard line. It's a 17-17 ball game. LSU has 19 first downs in the ball game. Mississippi State has 15 first downs. A lot of offense this afternoon. Bond, look at an LSU 5-man front and a 2 linebacker set. Out of his wishbone backfield. Bond handles the ball, goes on the inside to Haddix, who breaks it to the 40 and fights to the 44-yard line. Great blocking behind Mikatinas and Harrison, Scamato and McDonald. Jeffrey Dale and Eugene Daniel finally brought him down. A run of 13 yards. First and 10 out at the 44-yard line. Bulldogs 16th first down. Bill Bell checks in. Don Scamato comes out. Change for the Bulldogs offensively. Mike McDonald out over the ball. Glenn Young wide to the left. Danny Knight, make that Jerry Price wide to the right. Again, LSU in a 5-man front. 2 linebacker set. Full house backfield for Mississippi State. Same play, and this time driving up over the 45 comes Henry Kuntz to about the 47. Pickup of about 3. Lawrence Williams upended it all as he submarined in underneath the ball carrier and knocked him to the ground. We're tied at 17, a minute and 15 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And as we said previously, the lights are on at Scott Field. The only time lights have ever been on at Scott Field, John, is when we had 2 flashlights out there one night hunting for a key we lost. 2nd and 7, Mississippi State at their own 47. Again, the Tigers stack 5 men on the forward wall as Barn goes on the inside counter. Not much daylight for Wyndham, who got maybe a yard, pushed back to about the 46. He was met by Lawrence Williams, the linebacker, who was the first man in the hole. Helping out on the stop was Greg Dubrock. Give him a yard. 3rd and 6. Bulldogs at the 48-yard line in their own territory in a 17-17 ball game. This may be the last play of the third quarter. We're under 30 seconds and counting. Corwin Aldridge comes wide to the left. Danny Knight wide to the right. Tigers go to a 4-man front, a 3 linebacker set on 3rd and 6, expecting Bond to be throwing the football. And Bond, off a long snap count, does roll in the pocket. Under pressure on reverse, gives it to Haddix, who turns the corner at midfield and fights for a first down at the LSU 44-yard line.
They got a good block out on the outside by Lamar Wyndham, and also enabled him to turn upfield and get that necessary yardage for the first down.
Lawrence Williams finally chased him down in front of the LSU bench across the way, but not until Michael Haddix, the senior from Walnut, turned on the speed and raced for the first down. And going out of bounds on the play, he did not go out of bounds on the play. That will run out the end of the third quarter with a score. Mississippi State 17, LSU 17. Back with the fourth quarter after we hear from State Farm Insurance and Coca-Cola. As we enter the fourth quarter, we're tied at 17. LSU defensively had been giving up an average of 57.8 yards per ball game defensively against the run. Mississippi State today has picked up 223 yards on the ground against the LSU Tigers.
You can credit an outstanding offensive forward wall. Tony Sarda, Bill Bell, Mike McDonald, Wayne Harris, Don Scamato, Bobby Mikatinas, and of course, Jerry Price, Danny Knight, Corwin Aldridge, and Glenn Young.
Excellent blocking from Mississippi State's maroon and white forward wall, as John has pointed out. And as any football fan knows, football games are won in the trenches. And this ball game's a long way from being over, obviously with a full fourth quarter to go, and equally obviously tied at 17. The wind has been no factor here this afternoon in any of the point production or in any of the plays, obviously, in the punting game or the kicking game, and probably will not be a factor now. The beautiful Stars and Stripes bathed in this artificial light here at Scott Field, just barely rippling on the flagstaff at the south end of Scott Field as we get set to get the fourth quarter underway. Remind you again, over many of these same stations, you'll be hearing a scoreboard following our broadcast with a complete rundown of all the scores and the highlights. SMU winning in the final seconds, as John just pointed out. Southern Mississippi pulling off a spectacular win today at Tuscaloosa, stopping a great Alabama winning streak in that particular stadium. Tennessee staying in the bowl picture with a win in Jackson. First and 10, Mississippi State at the LSU 44-yard line. Bulldogs out of a full house backfield. John Bond trips as he hands the ball off. It is fumbled, and LSU is right there to recover it. John Bond, just as Risher had done on a previous series, tripped as he was coming out from underneath center, lost the football, and Lawrence Williams comes up with a fumble recovery for LSU. Bond actually did give the ball to his running back, who never had possession. It went bobbling loose at the LSU 42, and the Tigers got a monumental break in the football game. And we'll go with Fontenot to the right side and Eric Martin to the left. Alan Risher works at quarterback, and Risher goes on the draw play, and coming inside for a couple of yards is LSU's Miles, who finds the 43, and that's about all he can get. Jesse Miles, hit down by Billy Jackson and Calvin Zanders, got maybe a yard. Off the draw play that has worked well for LSU this afternoon. LSU has Mike Gambrell at center. Kevin Langford and Mike Turner at the guards. They've got Berry and Smith at the tackles, and Scott's in there at the tight end spot for the Tigers. Mike Muntz has just checked in at fullback for LSU. He's the up back out of the eye. Dalton Hilliard is the deep back. Fontenot's in the slot to the left. Wide receiver in that direction. On second down, they move Fontenot in motion to the right. And Risher rolls to throw. Penalty flag down as he hits Eric Martin at midfield, and out of bounds he goes. But a penalty flag is down.
Should be an illegal procedure against LSU.
LSU on their last drive, aided by two major penalties against the Bulldogs, settled for a field goal, and now have come up with a big fumble recovery. The pass completion to Martin was short of the first down. Mississippi State will elect to take the penalty and move the ball back to the 38-yard line, where the down will be 2nd and 14 against LSU. Alan Risher, the senior from Slidell, Louisiana, running the ball club. Talks to his offensive huddle. Breaks it out, sends again Eric Martin to the left and puts Junius Durrell in the slot to the left. Again lines up the I formation with Hilliard deep and Muntz close. Uses motion with Durrell from left back to right. Rolls back to throw. Risher being harassed. Throws upfield. Pass caught by Hilliard at the 40. Knocked off his feet at the 41. Dalton Hilliard picked up the yardage that was lost on the penalty before Billy Jackson and Gary Lambert brought him down.
Boy, he did a good job of getting rid of the football because Ernest Barnes hit him just as he released it, but he did get it to his back coming out of the football, out of the backfield.
3rd and 11, LSU, big third down conversion. LSU is 7 out of 11 in the first half on third down conversions. 3rd and 11 for the Tigers now. And Risher splits his running backs and rolls in the pocket to throw and fires at the back coming out of the backfield. And Hilliard turns it up to the 47-yard line and is taken off his feet at the 48-yard line short of the first down. Gary Lambert and Kenneth Johnson brought him down. Clay Parker will check on for LSU in the punting department as the Tigers will be forced to punt on 4th and 4. Parker will stand at the 34, kick from the 38. Bulldogs put 10 men on the line of scrimmage. Glenn Young, the one man back to receive it, is at his own 15. We're awaiting the snap from center. It is a good snap. Pressure's on. Kick is away, a driving kick. Glenn Young is going to handle it at the 5. Tries to get to the outside, comes up to the 15 and is taken off his feet along the 15-yard line. A 47-yard kick, a return of 10 yards, and Glenn did it against the on-charging LSU's Mitch Andrews, who made the tackle. So Mississippi State and LSU tied at 17 with 12:42 to go in the ball game. Bulldogs will have to operate from deep in their own territory.
You're talking about an evenly played ball game. The time of possession for those first 3 quarters, LSU had the football 22 minutes, 36 seconds. The Bulldogs had it 22 minutes, 24 seconds.
You don't get much closer than that. So we've got 12:42 to go in the ball game. May we again remind you, Mississippi State opens their basketball season with an exhibition on November 16th against Marathon Oil. And then Coach Boyd will be putting the Bulldogs on display November the 29th, hosting Coach M.K. Turk and the Golden Eagles of Southern Mississippi in the Humphrey Coliseum for a 7:30 tip-off time. And the 82-83 basketball campaign will be underway. Season tickets are still available through the Mississippi State Athletic Department. Monday through Friday, they're open from 8 in the morning till 5 in the evening. Contact them either in person, by mail, or by phone, and make arrangements to watch the Bulldog basketball team in action. So Mississippi State will be first down. 10 yards to go at their own 15-yard line with 12 minutes and 42 seconds left in the ball game. The Bulldogs fumbled, recovered by LSU. The defense held the Tigers and forced the punt, but in so doing, of course, have surrendered field position to the LSU Tigers and will have to come out of there. And they'll go with Glenn Young wide to the left and Danny Knight wide to the right in a 17-17 ball game. LSU's in a 5-2 basic alignment. Mississippi State's John Bond going back to throw. Bond is looking for Knight, fires over the middle. A pass is tipped away. Coming on LSU's Eugene Daniel to tip it away. Knight was trying to curl back inside about 15 yards upfield. And John trying to loop it in there for him. And Daniel got over and tipped it away, the junior from Baton Rouge. 2nd and 10, Mississippi State. Jerry Price will bring the play into the Bulldog huddle. Next week, Mississippi State, Mississippi will battle in Jackson. LSU will go against Florida State, then finish the regular season against Tulane. Bond on 2nd and 10. Again reads a 5-2 LSU defense. Long snap count. Bond off the option, pitches it to Haddix, who turns the corner to make that Wyndham out over the 20 to about the 22, and then LSU corralled him along the 22-yard line. Lipford Hobley coming up out of the secondary, and Al Richardson made the stop for LSU. The down will be 3rd down for Mississippi State. About 3 yards to go. So a possession play faces the Bulldogs in the 17-17 fourth quarter. LSU youngsters shaken up. Al Richardson going to the sidelines. Sean Burks will be the man to replace him. Richardson has had a spectacular game defensively for LSU this afternoon. Bulldogs in a possession situation on 3rd and 3 at their own 22-yard line. Bond reading the LSU defense. Again, the long snap count. Comes on the option pitch, gives it to Haddix, who gets a block, turns the corner, has the first down at the 30, and knocked off his feet at the 36 or 37-yard line.
Boy, you're talking about a great block. Lamar Wyndham just made one then that allowed Michael Haddix to really get around the corner, because LSU did have the people out there to maybe stop the game before it could get for a first down, but he put the corner back on the ground. Michael Haddix turned the corner, get the first down.
Wyndham comes up limping on the play, and immediately Elmer Wilson, the sophomore from Tampa, Florida, will replace him. Bulldogs are 1st and 10 at their own 36. 11 and a half minutes to go in the ball game. Wide receivers are left and right for Mississippi State. Against the LSU 5-2, Bond goes on the quick handoff inside, and no place for Henry Kuntz to go because Elko was right there, and Ramsey Dardar. No gain. 2nd and 10 at the 36. Ramsey Dardar, the senior from Cecilia. Like to talk about him. And he's a fine football player.
I was fixing to say, we've talked about him for 4 years now.
11 minutes to play in the ball game. Michael Haddix has gone over the 100 yards now. 12 carries, 105 yards this afternoon. He scored a touchdown. 2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs. John Bond on a quick slant pattern throws it to Danny Knight, who cannot quite hang on. Ball was just batted around, and Knight tried to keep control of it. John down the sideline.
Well, that's another case of the LSU defender going for the interception. He missed on it. They had double coverage on him. It looked like he may have deflected it just a little bit, but Danny Knight not able to hold on to the football.
So it is 3rd and 10 for the Bulldogs at their own 36. Needing a big play right here on a possession play. And, of course, that was one of those kind that you can play a lot of if with. If he hangs on to the football, it's a huge gainer, maybe a 6-point gainer. 3rd and 10, Mississippi State. LSU rotates his secondary defense. Bond takes a long look at it. Bond rolls in the pocket to throw, sets up, fires it to Danny Knight, who grabs it at midfield, races to the 40, hit from behind, breaks the tackle, goes to the 20, hit at the 10, stays on his feet and scores.
What a run by Danny Knight. Again, John Bond doing the good job of getting the football to Danny Knight. It really wasn't, I think, planned to be such a long gainer, but he caught it to the outside, turned back to the inside, turned upfield. There were at least 3 LSU defenders that had a shot at him, hit him, just slid down, and Danny Knight able to take it the distance to put Mississippi State in front.
It is Mississippi State 23, LSU 17. Bob Morgan will try to add the point after a touchdown. And Danny Knight, who has just been brilliant all year long, just absolutely did the impossible then. You talking about a highlight film, that was it. Morgan's kick is high and good. Mississippi State 24, LSU 17. The Bulldogs will kick off to the Tigers. We'll take a minute to hear from our local sponsors.
Graduated here in 1950.
These are festive times. Fall and campus football, something to look forward to every autumn at colleges and universities everywhere. Nothing else can match the panorama of a campus football game. But of all the elements that make up college football, none can be more important than a stadium of a large enough capacity that would enable all students, alumni, and fans alike the opportunity to join the fun. Mississippi State University sorely lacks in this category. Our stadium, Scott Field, is the smallest football stadium in the SEC, less than half the average size stadium in the conference. Plans are underway to change this, and your help is needed. Stadium expansion at MSU can become a reality only when initial funding is complete. Funding provided for by the Priority Seating Option Plan. But time is running short. For information on how you can help, contact the MSU Athletic Department and ask about the option plan.
Mississippi State has gone on top 24-17.
That's got to be one of the finest individual efforts, I guess, that we've seen all year and probably anywhere, because Danny Knight just did a superb job of just taking the football the distance.
John, you know, that's the one time when you wish you had a vocabulary like Mr. Webster has, where you could reach in and get all those adjectives and all those marvelous descriptive phrases and try to give him enough credit through that use of the words to pass along to our audience. I simply do not have the vocabulary or the ability to explain what Danny and I did after catching that football.
Well, if you don't, I know I sure don't. We have an update on the score. Penn State leading Notre Dame 19-14. That's in the 4th quarter.
We're in the 4th quarter with 10:34 to go. Dana Moore will kick it off to either Eric Martin or to Gary James. And we'll be right back into the thick of the pattern right here. Here's Moore kicking it. It is carrying to the right side. Martin is going to drift it down into the end zone and not run it out. LSU is going to play it from the 20-yard line. So Dana Moore does his job. He kicks it deep and keeps the Tigers back about as far as you can go. Again, we would want to remind you about that Union Program Council Lectern Committee of Mississippi State hosting Mr. Hamilton Jordan on Wednesday, November 17th. Students with ID admitted free, public admission $3. It'll be taking place in the Lee Hall Auditorium at 8 o'clock. LSU are ready to work now, down by a touchdown or in the I formation, with Herman Fontenot in motion from left to right. And they give it to the tailback, and driving off right tackle comes Gary James to the 22, where big Ernest Barnes, 6'5" and 265, wrapped him up.
Well, this was that misdirection play that the LSU has had great success with this time Ernest Barnes there to stop it.
Barnes is working with Darrell Moore at the tackles, Mike McInerney and Billy Jackson at the defensive ends, Clay Peacher, Carl Prince, Calvin Zanders as the linebackers. The Tigers put Eric Martin wide to the right. They've got Durrell in the slot to the right. He comes back in motion to the left side. Alan Risher rolls back to throw, looking to the sidelines, fires it, complete at the 30-yard line and out of bounds. Goes Gary James, very close to a first down. We have to see exactly where he stepped out. I think it's a little short. Clay Peacher chased him out a yard shy of the first down. So LSU's in a 3rd and 1 situation. They have gone to a 2 tight end set on many occasions with this situation. And they're going to instead use a slot back and the I formation right now. Bulldogs are in a 5-2 defensive alignment. Risher, long snap count on the line of scrimmage. Risher goes to the tailback, trying to sweep outside. He cannot go. Gary James taken off his feet by Kenny Johnson. And helping out was Calvin Zanders.
Well, the Bulldogs went to this short yardage defense, came with a lot of pressure. LSU trying to sweep and get outside, but Calvin Zanders and Kenneth Johnson there to stop it for a loss.
9:35 to go in the ball game. On fourth down, Clay Parker drops into punt for LSU. He'll stand at the 13, will kick from the 17. Two safeties, Gary Lambert, Glenn Young back of the Bulldog, 35 and 30 respectively. 9 men on the line of scrimmage. We're awaiting the snap. Long snap count LSU. The snap is good, and the kick is away, an end over ender. Gary Lambert is going to field it at the 40 and step out of bounds along the 42-yard line. Bulldogs in good field position following a 31-yard kick, and a return of about 2 yards. Will be 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line, leading the ball game. 24-17 with 9 minutes to play. And we'll be back after we hear this message. Well, hold on just a minute. Yep, we're going to get a timeout on the field. We'll be back after we hear this message from...
Oh, no! Brian Lunchmeats, she'll do anything to get in.
Watch. He can't resist tasty Brian lunch meats with their delicious seasonings. Brian is his favorite.
Hey, sis!
That great Brian taste comes through again.
Brian makes you glad you're hungry. Brian makes you sad you're through. Brian makes so many good meats to eat, 'cause Brian makes the taste come through.
Back when they built superhighways to the city, they planned for everything, except for this. Fortunately, there's a tough oil made for today's tough traffic. Gulf Pride with ZDP, one of the toughest anti-wear ingredients. So change to Gulf Pride. Then if traffic's hard to take, at least your engine can take it. Gulf Pride, that tough oil. Make sure that Gulf is with you.
Mississippi State will be 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line. 9 minutes to play in the football game, leading at 24-17. LSU in a 6-man front. John Bond checking the defense. Wants to come on with the option. Is going to throw the pass deep down the field for Knight, who cannot get it. He was cut off on the inside by Eugene Daniel, who went with him step for step. And Danny, of course, couldn't get to the football, and Daniel played it well.
Well, a good job by the defensive halfbacks, running step by step with Danny Knight. Ball thrown back to the inside. Hopefully that Danny Knight could get back in there, but the defensive halfback had him blocked out.
So Mississippi State is 2nd and 10 at the 42. Young goes wide to the left. Jerry Price comes wide to the right. LSU in a 6-man front, 2 linebacker set. Bond checking the LSU defense. Bond off the option, comes wide, can't make the pitch, eludes one tackler, now taken off his feet along the 45-yard line as Lawrence Williams cut him down. Again, fine LSU defensive pursuit. They had a blitz on with the inside linebacker. Bond beat the blitz, but ran out of room on the corner. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. Bulldogs at their own 46-yard line, so 3rd and a long 6. Corwin Aldrich brings in the play. Mississippi State would like to pick up the 1st down here. Genial Bob Hartley visiting with us here, the assistant athletic director for Mississippi State. Good to have him in our booth. 3rd and 6 for the Dogs. A big play both for LSU and Mississippi State right here. And Bond reads the LSU 5-man front. And Bond off the option play, keeps, slides in the secondary, has a 1st down at the LSU 46-yard line.
Looked like John Bond may have changed his play at the line of scrimmage. LSU coming with the blitzes, the outside blitzes. Maybe he read this, turned upfield, got that 1st down.
Al Richardson is back in the lineup, and Rydell Melanson made the stop for LSU. That is the Bulldogs' 18th 1st down of the afternoon. LSU has 19. Mississippi State, however, leads the football game 24-17. And at the LSU 45-yard line. Glenn Young wide to the left. Danny Knight wide to the right. Double coverage on Knight. Again, Bond reads a 4-man front, 2 linebacker set. Goes to the 1st man through, and Kuntz breaks it in the secondary. Races to the 30. Cuts back in and knocked off his feet at the 28-yard line.
Good piece of running on the part of Henry Kuntz. This time hit to the right side. Of course, he has the quickness and the speed to bend it back to the left side, which he did. was able to get outside and get inside to the LSU 30-yard line. First down, Mississippi State.
Eugene Daniel was the man that made the tackle for LSU. Temperatures dropped to 39 degrees, but in my IU blazer, I'm mighty warm. I'm going to hit him up for an overcoat. First and 10 at the 28-yard line. Full house backfield for the Bulldogs. Here's Bond again on the outside option. Bond cannot pitch it, is going to keep it, and is going to be ridden down along the 26-yard line by Rydell Melanson. He'll pick up a couple of yards on the play. Clock shows 7.5 minutes remaining in the football game. Mississippi State 24, LSU 17. And the Bulldogs obviously need points out of this drive. They're leading only by 7. And when you say only by 7, you're talking about a ball club LSU that can touch off TNT in a hurry. Touchdown and touchdown. 2nd and 8 from the 26 in LSU territory. Again, LSU bluffs the blitz, and Bond comes inside, and Haddix spins to the 25. But LSU plugged up the gap. Again, Sean Burks made the stop for LSU. Mississippi State in the ball game has now picked up 266 yards on the ground. LSU rushing 123. And the Tigers, coming into the ball game, were averaging 218 per ball game offensively and giving up only 58 defensively. Big play, 3rd and 7, Mississippi State at the LSU 25. 5-man front, 2 linebackers for the Tigers. Bond reads the defense, makes the pitch. Wyndham trying to turn the corner. Can't get around the corner, knocked down along the 24-yard line as the veteran James Britt, the 5-year defensive cornerback for LSU, made a fine defensive play. And Mississippi State will bring onto the field goal unit on a 4th down and 6 from the 24. John Bond a little shaken up on the play, being helped to the sidelines by Mike McDonald. Brent Parker will hold at the 31-yard line. Dana Moore will attempt a 41-yarder. Moore has kicked a 51-yarder this year. The pass back is good. The kick is up. It is going to be short. It is not good. Not good. So, Mississippi State remains 24 points. LSU remains 17. And LSU will be 1st and 10 at the 24. Each ball club has now missed a field goal attempt in the ball game. LSU missed a 49-yarder in the first half. The Bulldogs missed a 41-yarder in the second half. 5:45 left in the game, and each team has 3 times out remaining. LSU breaks huddle. Eric Martin goes wide to the right. Herman Fontenot's in the slot to the right. Dalton Hilliard and Mike Munch, 2 running backs, are strong to the right for LSU. They put Fontenot in motion back to the left, and Risher rolls to throw. Fakes, throws a sideline pass, incomplete, off the hands of Dalton Hilliard. Defending on the play, Kate Peacher. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Tigers at the 24. Wide side of the field is to the left of Alan Richer, who gets from Junius Dural instructions from the offensive staff of the LSU Tigers. Dural will come wide to the left. Eric Martin wide to the right. The running backs again out of that pro set. Munson, Hilliard. Risher checking a 4-3 defensive alignment. Hilliard back in the pocket to throw. Sets up. Fires out of the backfield. Muntz catches it. Fights his way to the 35 and is taken off his feet, but may have a first down. It will be a first down LSU as they hit Muntz coming out of the backfield. 20th first down for the Tigers. A Mississippi State Bulldog is shaken up. Let's check on the injury wheel. Let's hold it right here for the moment. LSU has earned a first down, as we told you. Quickly up on his feet. Mississippi State's Kenny Johnson is okay, comes to the sidelines. Lawrence Evans will probably replace him for this particular series. LSU 1st and 10 at the 36. Again puts wide receivers left and right. Again Risher with his back in the pocket to throw. Risher sets up, comes over the middle. Pass completed to Scott at midfield. He fights to the Bulldog 45 and down at the 44. Now comes Scott, the big tight end. Hit down by Bobby Junkin, but that's a big gainer. To the Bulldog 43-yard line. 21-yard pickup for LSU. And their 21st first down. The Tigers have 3 times out remaining, remember. And they're trailing 24-17. They come wide to the left with Eric Martin. They put Junius Durrell, the junior, in the slot to the left. Risher checks a 4-3 alignment. Risher uses motion to the right side. Risher rolls back to throw. Quickly hooks it to the side, and the pass is caught by Martin, who takes it out of bounds. and is pushed hard by Kenneth Johnson, who's back in the lineup. Out of bounds along the 35-yard line. A good little square-out pattern thrown by LSU. It'll be second down for the Tigers. About 2 yards to go. Ball at the Bulldog 35. LSU marching with the football. They have taken it now in 46 seconds from their own 24 to the Bulldog 35. LSU goes with a slot back to the left and a wide receiver in that direction. And now Fontenot goes in motion back to the right. And Risher goes to the fullback, and Muntz breaks a big hole, races to the 30, races to the 10, races for a touchdown. 35-yard run by Mike Muntz. And LSU, after the Bulldogs miss the field goal, come right back to go 76 yards in 5 plays and are within 1 point of the Bulldogs, 24-23. With 4:52 left in the ball game. Juan Betanzos, who has not missed an extra point all year long, came in this ball game 33 out of 33 and has been perfect thus far this afternoon. Will try to stay that way. The pass back is down. The kick is good. And we've got a tie ball game at 24. Back with the LSU kickoff after we take a minute to hear from our local sponsors.
Farm income continues to fall while farm efficiency continues to rise.
Soybeans are a big crop in Mississippi, and with good reason. Did you know that in about 40 seconds, I can cut enough soybeans for enough soybean oil for over a gallon of cooking oil, 4 quarts of mayonnaise, and over 60 cans of baby formula? Just something to think about next time you go to the grocery store.
Tough to beat the American farmer. Tough to beat the American way. Tough to beat what keeps them growing. Tough to beat those products from Mobay.
Mobay Chemical Corporation is proud of the contribution Mississippi agriculture makes to the American way of life. And we're proud of the contribution our products make to the productivity of the Mississippi farmer. Mobay and Mississippi Agriculture, partners in productivity.
Zos will kick it off for LSU. Again, Mississippi State anticipating that short, high kickoff. Gets only 1 man deep, Glenn Young. Danny Knight's on the far side. Up in the middle is Kenny Rogers. On the near side, Mike Haddix along the 20. Betanzos forward. Kicks it to the far side to Danny Knight, who is waiting for it at the 15-yard line at the 17. Gets 1 block, comes out over the 25 to about the 27 and goes down at that point. So we're tied at 24 with 4:49 left in the ball game. And Mississippi State will have to start, they say, at the, well, let's call it the 27-yard line. So the Bulldog offense has its work cut out for it, and the LSU defense has its work cut out for it. We're down to that time where the blue chips are on the table. Jerry Price wide to the right. To the left side is Glenn Young. John Bond checking an LSU 4-man front. Bond comes off the option, the first man through, and Henry Kuntz has got about 3 coming up near the 30-yard line where Lawrence Williams made first contact for LSU. Give him 2 yards, maybe 3 out of it. Second and long, 7. Corwin Aldrich will bring the play into the Mississippi State huddle. Temperature under 40 degrees now, down to about 38. Game time was 52 degrees. Jerry Price to the right side, Corwin Aldrich to the left. On 2nd and 7, John Bond reads the LSU defense out of a full house backfield. Bond rolls on the pitch, gives it to Haddix, trying to turn the corner, comes up near the 27 and brought down. So James Britt out of the secondary, and Bill Elko made the stop for LSU. Haddix couldn't get around the corner, but there's a penalty marker down. And we'll find out what it's all about against Mississippi State, I believe.
Well, they say we had a clip.
Might have been a clip. Tigers rated on 1 touchdown drive by 2 major penalties against the Bulldogs. And here it looks as if Mississippi State, depending on what LSU does with the call, might find themselves in some hot water, tied 24. A little better than 4 minutes to play. And we'll see what the official judgment has been here. Penalty will be assessed against the Bulldogs. And from the point of the infraction, they move it back to the 14-yard line. The down remains second down. First down has to be picked up at the 37. So the Bulldogs have some 23 yards to go on second down. Danny Knight will bring the play into the Bulldog huddle. Officials start the 25-second play clock now. And Mississippi State will send wide receivers left and right. Danny Knight to the right side. Corwin Ulrich to the left side. On second and long yardage, LSU's in a loose 4-3 defense. Bond gives it to Haddix, who spins out to about the 18-yard line. LSU closed the hole up in a hurry.
Haddix, the ball carrier.
Al Richardson led the defensive charge for LSU. It'll be 3rd and 19 for Mississippi State.
Gain of 5 yards.
Bulldogs are operating with Mike McDonald at center, Bill Bell, Wayne Harris at the guards, Bobby McAtinas, Tony Sarter at the tackles, Danny Knight, Glenn Young, the split receivers. Only 8 seconds remaining now on the play clock as the Bulldogs are on the line of scrimmage. John Bond reads a 4-2 loose LSU defense. The Tigers expecting him to throw, and Bond's going to take it on the option. Comes to the outside, breaks the tackle, stays on his feet, fights over the 30 to the 31, but he's considerably short of the first down. First down has to be made at the 37-yard line. LSU's Joyner making the stop. It'll be 4th down for Mississippi State. This will necessitate a punt. Be 4th and 6. LSU anticipating it. Going to get Tommy Boudreau. No. Hobley, I believe, will be the man back. Yep. Jeffrey Dale. It's going to be Jeffrey Dale. High pass from center.
LSU called timeout, Jack, before the ball was snapped.
LSU must have been short a man. Dana Moore really put a foot into it and kicked it down the football field, but LSU used a timeout.
They had 11 men on the field, but they wanted to call timeout for some reason.
I guess just to preserve time on the clock, John. LSU calls for timeout with 2:32 on the clock, so the Tigers will have 2 times out remaining. Bulldogs will be in a punting situation. Now LSU's making some people changes.
I don't think the LSU coaching staff was too happy about the timeout being called.
I doubt if this will be a full timeout. Officials chatting with both ball clubs. Bulldogs are in a 4th and 6 at their own 31. We're tied in the ball game at 24. LSU should come out of this with pretty good field position. And of course, that's one of the things that they wanted to do, was to make sure they had their alignment straight. LSU has 5 men on the line of scrimmage and 4 men off the line to pick up Mississippi State coverage coming downfield. Jeffrey Dale, who has not fielded a punt this afternoon. Hobley has been doing most of the catching for LSU. Is back about his own 27. So now we're set to go on 4th and 6. Bulldogs, Dana Moore will be punting the football, standing at his own 17, pulls down a high pass, kicks a driving spiral upfield. Fair catch being signaled and taken at the LSU 27-yard line. So the Tigers will get the football with 2:25 remaining and 2 times out after a 42-yard kick. And now this crowd is on its feet here at Scott Field. We're tied at 24. I don't think LSU's turned over the ball today, as well as I recall.
They had 3 fumbles the first half. Of course, they did not lose any of them.
LSU will go with 2 wide receivers. Martin to the left, Martineau to the right. Risher will have his running back split out of the pro set. Bulldogs run a 4-3 defense. Risher wants to throw, sets up, fires it. Pass complete at the 30 and ridden off his feet at the 32 is Mike Muntz, the fullback, who scored a moment ago on that run from the Bulldog 35-yard line. LSU picks up about 4 yards on the play, 2nd and 6. Out at their 32.
You know, you have to credit the LSU offensive line for keeping the Bulldog defense off of Risher.
They have not gotten to him about once this afternoon, maybe twice at the most. Risher again out of split backfield, drops to throw. Risher looking, fires the pass, is batted up in the air and incomplete on the line of scrimmage. Ernest Barnes got a big hand up there and batted it away, and nobody could come down with it.
You're talking about a big play. Here's one right now.
3rd and 6, LSU at their own 32-yard line with 1:56 to go in the ball game. LSU got the ball with 2:25 remaining in a tied-up 24 contest. Wide to the left comes Martin. Fontenot to the right. Hilliard is deep and Monson's close out of the eye. LSU on 3rd and 6. Risher wants a timeout and will use the timeout. So with timeout, we're tied at 24. We'll be back in a minute after this message from Gulf.
Graduated here in 1950.
These are festive times. Fall and campus football, something to look forward to every autumn at colleges and universities everywhere. Nothing else can match the panorama of a campus football game. But of all the elements that make up college football, none can be more important than a stadium of a large enough capacity that would enable all students, alumni, and fans alike the opportunity to join the fun. Mississippi State University sorely lacks in this category. Our stadium, Scott Field, is the smallest football stadium in the SEC, less than half the average size stadium in the conference. Plans are underway to change this, and your help is needed. Stadium expansion at MSU can become a reality only when initial funding is complete. Funding provided for by the Priority Seating Option Plan. But time is running short. For information on how you can help, contact the MSU Athletic Department and ask about the option plan.
The Tigers of LSU and the Bulldogs of Mississippi State are tied up at 24. 1:56 left of the ball game. LSU has the ball at their own 32-yard line. 3rd down, 6 yards to go. They've expended 2 timeouts thus far. They have 1 remaining. Martin's wide to the right, Fontenot to the left. Monson, Hilliard, your running backs are split. Risher checking a 4-2 Bulldog alignment. Uses motion with Fontenot back to the right. Risher rolls to throw. Risher has time. He's being hit. He can't get away. Throws it. It's incomplete. Broken up. Risher got rid of it. Ernie Barnes broke it up. Mike McInerney had him around the knees, and he could not get rid of the football. LSU will be 4th and 6 at the 32. And the Bulldogs, anticipating the punt, get Glenn Young and Gary Lambert back with 1:53 to go in the ball game. And Mississippi State has 3 times out remaining. Clay Parker, the barefooted kicker for LSU, stands at the 18. He'll kick from the 22. Bulldogs have gotten pressure on him a couple of times today. Awaiting the snapback. It is a good one. Here's your kick. It's upfield and it's end over end. And Lambert is going to handle and does at the 35. Gets a block, comes to the 40. Breaks out to midfield, knocked down at the 45-yard line in LSU territory.
Good job on the part of Gary Lambert taking the short kick. Bulldogs did a good job of getting downfield and setting it up a little wall. He was able to get upfield, get out of bounds, stop the clock with 1:42 to go.
Mississippi State has 3 times out remaining. They're tied at 24. They need to get this ball in field goal range, and we'll see how the Bulldogs play it. Glenn Young wide to the left, Danny Knight wide to the right. LSU's in a 5-2 umbrella defense right now. Bulldogs with John Bond at the controls. Go off the option play. The pitch is to Wyndham, who gets a block. Another block. Fights to the 30-yard line and down at the 30-yard line.
They're going to call a clip, Jack.
We got a penalty flag down, however.
He's going to call a clip on the outside.
Glenn Young very upset over the call. Another major penalty against the Bulldogs.
It's either a clip or a holding. I don't know what, but it was on the outside. Looked like it was against Glenn, and as you said, he was mighty upset.
Penalty stepped off back to the 43-yard line. It is a holding penalty against Mississippi State. The down will be 2nd down. First down, rather. 9 yards to go, actually, from the point of the infraction. However, there's only 1:38 left on the clock, and it starts to roll as Aldridge goes to the left and Knight comes to the right. John Bond checks the LSU 5-4 defense. Bond, long snap count. Goes on the quick look-in pass that is caught by Aldrich at the 30 and knocked off his feet at the 29. Excellent catch.
What a job of catching the football by Corwin Aldrich. Again, the LSU defender trying for the interception. The ball was thrown a little high in front of Corwin Aldrich. Just tremendous concentration on the young man's part to catch a football. Again, stopping the clock with the Bulldogs having the ball inside the 30-yard line.
Jeffrey Dale was the man that made the tackle. Jerry Price comes wide to the right. Now they're backing off the line of scrimmage for the moment. It is a first down, Mississippi State. And I believe for the Bulldogs, that will be their 20th. LSU in the ball game, I think, has 21 first downs.
I said he may have gone out of bounds. I'm not real sure whether he did go out of bounds or not. Of course, the first down stopped the clock.
Mississippi State has 3 times out remaining. John, there may be a problem with the clock, and I'll tell you the reason I say that, and I'm guessing now. There was 1:38 on the clock when the play started. There's still 1:38 on the clock. So conceivably 5, 6, 7 seconds might have been run off the clock, should have been run off the clock. Shades of Baton Rouge, where you run a lot of plays and no time comes off the clock. I guess when they turned on the lights, they thought they were in Tiger Stadium. Emery Ballard is talking with the referee, who, for your information, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, is Joe Hicks. The umpire is Bud Williams, the linesman Robert Towns. Ronnie Baines is the line judge. Al Grenning's the field judge. Ted Thomas the back judge, and John Murrow is the clock operator. They've taken 1 second off the clock. 1:37. The ball is at the LSU 29. We are tied at 24. The ball is in possession of Mississippi State, who has 3 times out remaining. LSU has 1. The officials evidently were charged with this timeout, and Mississippi State has taken the opportunity for Danny Knight and John Bond to collaborate with the Bulldog offensive staff. Knight is not in the ball game, incidentally, at this point. Evidently, the time will be kept on a stopwatch, John. And I'm guessing at that now. Robbie Ware points it out. Robbie, of course, does a magnificent job of spotting the opposing players of Mississippi State, and he has done it on LSU this afternoon. Bulldogs 1st and 10 at the LSU 29. LSU in a 6-2 defense, now make it a 5-3 as Bond, with a long snap count, goes on the inside handoff, and not much daylight for Haddix, where Ramsey Dardar met him at the line of scrimmage. No gain. 2nd and 10 at the 29. The clock is not running, obviously. It would be running on the field now. I'm talking about the official clock. Jim Ellis has got his stopwatch on it. He's not the official stopwatch keeper. Jim, are we down to about a minute? About a minute left. Okay. Bulldogs 2nd and 10 at the 29. Again, full house backfield. LSU in a 5-4 defense. John Bond off the option, comes inside to Kuntz, who spins it right in the middle of the football field to about the 27-yard line, and Corwin Aldridge comes in and asks for timeout. So at timeout, we've got less than a minute to go. The Bulldogs will be 3rd down, 8 yards to go at the LSU 27, and we'll return in 1 minute after this message from our local sponsor.
You're back with all your summer friends. The sun is gonna shine again. Now there's hard work to do, but you know when you're through, there's something big waiting for you. For you.
Coke is it, the biggest taste you've ever found. Coke is it, the one that never lets you down. Coke is it, the most refreshing taste around. Coke is it, Coke is it.
The graveyard of chainsaws. Some with names you'd recognize, others are unknown. But in this world of broken promises, there is hope. Steel, tough, dependable, built to survive. Steel, you get what you pay for. With chainsaws going under every day, you can save yourself a lot of grief and get a Steel.
Unofficially, we have 52 seconds remaining in the game. According to our director, Jim Ellis, Mississippi State is 3rd and 8 at the LSU 27. Has 2 times out remaining. "35 seconds, we understand, left in the ball game. Our producer, Larry Templeton, says 35. Mississippi State Right now is a decision to make on third down. It's been made. Glenn Young goes wide to the left. Danny Knight comes wide to the right. John Bond goes up underneath center. Bond checking the LSU six-man front. Bond, quarterback, sneaks it straight ahead. Didn't get anything out of it. It'll be fourth down, 8 yards to go from the 27-yard line. Again, time is called out. Mississippi State will expend a timeout. They'll have one remaining. We're going to hold it right here. We would have to assume there are about 30 seconds left in the ball game. And now Mississippi State will send their field goal unit out. Dana Moore has missed from 41 yards. The ball is right in the middle of the playing field, incidentally. So, this crowd, as we wonder how much time is left, the big thing right now is the snapping of the ball, the putting it down, the kicking it up, getting it high enough, long enough, straight enough. All those things that you take for granted have to be executed perfectly if you are to kick a field goal. And it will be kicked from the 36-yard line, which would be a 46-yard effort.
Yeah,
well, 35, I guess, John.
You know, of course, again, we're just speculating as far as time, but I'm really not quite sure why we call the timeout so fast then, instead of just letting some more seconds tick off.
Well, of course, again, you're talking about things we don't know about.
We have no idea.
Could have let some time elapse on the clock, of course, but maybe
it's not that much.
Could not be. Brent Parker will hold at the 35-yard line. Dana Moore will attempt a 45-yard field goal. The pass back is good. The kick is up. It is high enough. It is long enough. It is good. Boy, you talking about close. It looked like the ball may have just hung a little bit on Dana Moore and just barely got over the crossbar. But of course, barely or mild makes no difference. The Bulldogs right now lead 27-24. We have no idea how much time is left in the football game. And we'll be right back.
Farmers are the strength of America, and Farm Bureau offers strength for farmers. When you join Farm Bureau, you become a part of the largest general farm organization in the world. You receive a free $1,000 accidental death insurance policy, plus Farm Bureau's Reward Protection Service. You may buy high-quality, safe-marked products at real savings and many other services. The Mississippi Farm Bureau Federation, leading, representing, serving Mississippi agriculture.
Approximately 20 seconds left in the ball game. Mississippi State 27, LSU 24. Dana Moore will kick it off to either Eric Martin or Gary James. He kicks it relatively short, waiting for it. James has it at the 10, tries to get outside. Now is going to be in trouble. Now breaks the tackle. Now knocked down at the 23-yard line.
LSU had a little dip to do then. I think they were going to run to one side of the field and then throw back to the other.
Evidently some maroon and white jersey was in the way, and James had to keep it to the 23-yard line. And Mississippi State will have to play defense now because LSU's got a timeout remaining. Martin will go wide to the right. Fontenot will go wide to the left. Alan Risher has his ball club on the line of scrimmage. Bulldogs in a four-man front. Double coverage on the wide receivers. Risher back to throw. Looks, starts to run. Being chased, hit, fumbles the ball. Mississippi State recovers it. This ball game is over.
Now, I bet you can't know who got the sack. Billy Jackson coming from the backside caused the football to be fumbled. The Bulldog defender came up and recovered, but nevertheless, the ball game is over. Mississippi State wins 27-24.
I think we may have another play left. We're not officially over yet, but Mississippi State got to Risher, the quarterback, forced the fumble. The Bulldogs will probably draw a delay of the game penalty because everybody ran out on the football field. But that, my friend, major penalty is going to be academic.
That is correct.
LSU might have one timeout left. The ball will be out to the 36-yard line after the penalty. And Mississippi State will be at the LSU 36.
You tired?
Worn out.
Well, I feel like I've been rolled hard and put up with.
Well, John, if you're going to break a 6-game losing streak in the conference, you couldn't do it better than against a ball club that is really on the move, really rolling. Bulldogs come down on the line of scrimmage in a 2 tight end set. John Bond at quarterback will try to just smother this football. He does. He smothers it. That may be the last play. Let's see. Maybe LSU called a timeout. Hold everything.
It's over.
That's it. Mississippi State 27. LSU 24. We'll be back after we hear from Budweiser and get a local station identification in, folks, while you take this 60-second message for your local sponsors as well.